Welcome to the Gamer Actual Podcast, our weekly podcast dedicated on talking some of the biggest in gaming news. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Apple and Spotify, with a visual podcast available on youtube.com/gameractual. This podcast is also brought to you in part by the guys over at XElement. To find out more about XElement and what they do, check out the information in the show notes. Now, without further ado, let me introduce to you my co-host, Germ. Heartless is on his way, but I'm pretty sure you also see another individual here. This man, I consider him an MK enthusiast, and I also consider him a well of MK knowledge. His channel, MK Temple, has over 8,000 subs on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, Trezinator. Trez, what's good? Welcome in.
Thank you, Cash. Thanks for having me. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Intro.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Welcome in. Great to have you. Sorry, we ran a little late, but we are here for you. We're here. We're so excited to have some MK representation in this place.
Oh yeah, for sure. We got some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
As it regards to MK. But
yeah, as an outlier, it's great going to be able to talk to someone who knows what's up.
Right.
Like I said, yeah, I could talk MK all night. So yeah, you guys are probably gonna have to stop me.
So
okay.
So Trez, it's customary here to ask our guests like, what are we playing right now? So we're gonna start with you, then move over to Gerb, and I'll tell you guys what I'm playing afterwards.
Cool. Yeah. So I have like all of us probably, I have a tremendous backlog of games that I'm trying to get through.
Oh yes.
But currently, I started playing through the Witcher franchise. I was telling Germ before that like the way I play games recently is I've been playing like entire franchises starting like chronologically. But I started playing the Witcher franchise last year, and then I'll switch to another game and then go back. So I'm currently on the Witcher 3 for the first time ever, which a lot of people say is like the best game ever. And
yes.
Honestly,
I agree. I concur.
It might be the best game ever. I'm blown away by it. Normally
300 hours of content at least, right?
Yeah, and normally because I have such a big backlog, I'm like waiting, like so there gets to a point where I'm like, I need to finish this game so I can get to the next game, but I'm just kind of like going with it and like not caring about what is next, and I'm just like exploring, and I'm probably close to 100 hours in. And I'm like maybe a third of the way done. So I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna be playing for the next couple months.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, jump over to something after that.
Do you have an hour milestone? 300, 400, 600, 700 hours?
I don't have I'm just going with the flow, and whenever I'm done, I'm done. Like I'm doing a bunch of side quests, I'm doing a bunch of treasure hunts, I'm doing the story. So I know that like to completion it's somewhere around like 500-600 hours. I hope it doesn't take me that long, but if it does, I also don't really care. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's also cool is the fact that how quick people forget how much of a rough start that game had when it just launched. It was pretty much like Cyberpunk, bro.
I mean, CD Projekt Red, Yeah.
This is their method.
Right? That's their beta process, I guess.
I haven't played Cyberpunk yet, but I might pick that up.
I haven't played it either.
And shout out to CG Projekt Red for making something and sticking with it and not just pulling the plug on their stuff.
Yeah,
they really seen it through. Yeah,
we need more from
that. More developers like that.
A lot of people pull the plug already instead of trying to improve what they already have and build on that. A lot of people abandon the project and try to move on to greener pastures, but they really believe in Cyberpunk. And they were like, "Listen, we're gonna give you guys what we promised."
Like,
I've heard that too. I want to play it.
Really
even that new expansion looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I heard it fixed practically every problem that the game had. That's what I hear anyway. So that's unconfirmed. Unconfirmed, chat.
No, I've heard that. Like most people are praising the game for what it is now. It's like it's very great now.
I see it on Steam sales all the time, so like I'm
Yeah.
gonna wind up buying it after I'm done with Witcher, probably.
Yeah, I want to get the full thing. I'm probably just wait until they drop everything and just buy the
Yeah,
outright
the
full.
definitive edition.
Exactly.
You know,
That makes
game
more
of the year
sense.
thing. That's what I have. Witcher 3 game of the year that I got with a gift card on my PlayStation. It's in my cloud right now. And again, I haven't even launched the game. So maybe one day, you know,
Yeah,
maybe one day.
that's what I'm playing currently, the Game of the Year edition.
Oh yeah.
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 So even
That's
when
what
I
I
am
got.
done with it, I think I've heard that like the DLC is like 100-hour
Bro, the
gameplay in
DLC is
itself.
another game.
So yeah, like I said, a couple months I'm gonna be playing this game probably. Like I don't know when I'm gonna finish it, but I'm not complaining. It's good. It's amazing.
That's good though. It's good. Jerm, what about you? What are you playing?
My all life stops for me until I finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm in the same boat you are, Trez. I'm gonna probably put 1,000 hours into Mortal Kombat.
Hell yeah.
Final Fantasy Rebirth. At least. The mini games alone, I'll probably put like 400 hours into.
Damn,
You know? So, yeah. And of course, I'm still on that Street Fighter 6 grind. Marissa is hungry to reach platinum, so I'm trying. I'm trying to get there.
Yo, Zelia in the chat is saying he's put 700 hours into Cyberpunk 2077. Jesus Christ, bro. Oh my God.
Yep, I'm well on the
That's a
way.
good sign.
I'm well on my way of risen up Tifa. Like it's gonna happen. She's the one I'm taking on those dates in that date simulator for sure. So I'll have an update for you guys next podcast.
Okay. For me, I'm playing. It's actually a game that released this week. It's called No Rest for the Wicked. It's an asymmetric action RPG game. That game was a lot of fun. If you guys tune in on my stream, I think Thursday I was playing it. It's a lot of fun. Like I'm not privy to asymmetric games. I think the last one I played was like 2 years ago. It was Tunic. Tunic was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the hell out of Tunic because
Tunic's
it
awesome.
reminded me so much of like Zelda. But this is something totally different. I don't know what to gauge yet because I'm not a fan of like Diablo. I've never played Diablo and I've never played what's the other one, Baldur's Gate. So I couldn't say that's an analog to that. I just don't know what to compare to. But so far, the game is a lot of fun, and I've been following like the roadmap of the devs as well. And they're promising multiplayer, they're probably promising PvP, and another chapter that's also on the way. So I'm looking forward to everything that they're doing right now, bro.
I know we're gonna talk about that game in a minute.
The game
Later
looks
in the show.
amazing.
Yeah, it looks great.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me a lot of anyone who plays Path of the Exile. It's a live service sort of Diablo game. It reminds me a lot of that.
That's a Conan game, right?
Sorry, what's that?
Conan, isn't that Conan? Conan Path of the Exile? Am I wrong about that? Or is
No,
that
it's not a
else?
Conan game. The name of the game itself is called Path of
the
Exile.
Oh,
Think of
okay.
it like a live service Diablo 3. It's very, very similar.
No, okay. But yeah, bro, the game
Game's been out a while. Been out quite a while, actually.
I'll look into that. But I feel like there was a Conan game with an exile in the title. Probably
There
that's why I was
is, I
confusing
think,
it.
but yeah, those are different games.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm really enjoying that game. We could talk more about it during here. We don't even have to talk about it in the game that released this week. I just told you guys exactly what it was. But anyways, the games that released this week were Planet of Lana, Harold Halibut, which is also something that I've been following for a while. No Rest for the Wicked and Final Fantasy 16, The Rising Tide DLC. Any thoughts on any of those games, guys?
Do you want to go, Trez, or which one? Which one claws up to you?
Let me see.
If why don't we run the
Yeah,
clip?
Harold Halibut. Like I didn't realize this, and I was talking to you guys about it before show, and it looks awesome. These other games don't really speak to me, so I don't really have much to say.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, there's a game coming out, Harold Halibut. So what it is, it's this adventure game. It's kind of a stop motion dolls claymation style animation, kind of like Tim Burton movies. It's gonna be dropping, and the premise of the game, it's sort of like a narrative driven game that is in a city where it's like a spaceship up in space, and they are It explores a vibrant retro future world in his quest to find the true meaning of home. So it's kind of like a coming of age sort of tale that's done in a stop motion Tim Burton
It's
style.
pretty cool. Like I'm trying to pull
Um,
up the trailer right now so you guys can see
the
it.
gameplay has been described as sort of like what's that
When the ship
game?
crashed, I have
Detroit Human. Detroit.
Or
The one about that.
become human, right?
Yeah, it's been described as that gameplay wise with a lot of decision making, and your decisions impact the outcome of the game. Uh, that's what the gameplay's been described, but it's got this stop motion claymation style. The game has supposedly been in production for almost 10 years. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the stop motion that did that too.
and it's a very unique game. I have yet to see, maybe besides It Takes Two, I've never really seen this type of animation in a game. So it looks really cool.
Yeah, I love art type of game, like games that like go with a different art style and
Try to push the grain a little bit. This is why I love.
yeah,
I love indie games for that particular reason. They're willing to
100%.
take risks.
I like
Right?
something fresh, and this feels fresh,
Mm-hmm.
and it also feels something that I'll get more emotionally invested in than I will the actual, gameplay. Like
Yeah.
for it look
I'm
that's what it
pretty
gets.
sure the gameplay is gonna be fun as well, right? Like
Yeah.
I can see that the gameplay would be somewhat what's the word I'm looking for?
I could see this grabbing me like Last of Us did. Like I remember the first time we all played Last of Us and it just grabbed us,
Yeah.
I get the feeling this will do that.
Yeah, because it feels like the stakes feel very high in this game, as cartoonish as it looks. It looks like the
Oh,
stakes
it
are
came
very.
out already?
18th.
It's out already.
So it's
I
already
think it's
out.
out already. Yeah,
Um,
I think it's on Game
It's
Pass.
currently
You can play it
available
on
for
Game
all
Pass.
platforms. It came out on April 16th.
Okay. Yeah, I went to go wishlist it on Steam and saw that it came out.
Yeah, I think it's on Game Pass if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Go double check that, please. Don't quote me on that.
Cool.
Though. But it should be.
It's definitely on my radar now. This is definitely something I would have never
Yeah. This is something I would never
really
given a second
noticed,
Mhm.
before. But shout out to Cash for putting this on my radar.
Listen, bro, I'm a
It was,
gaming
it's
nerd.
really
There's a reason
interesting.
for that. I seek to find the value in games, sir. But yeah, Hard Halibut looks fun, and I'm looking forward to playing it. You guys can let me know in the
About
Discord if
80
you'd
on
like to see
Metacritic
me
right
play
now.
that on
So
stream.
overall, it's got very positive things to say overall about the game. So I think it's worth your time, worth a shot. Check it out.
You hear a lot of people see a lot of people talking about Stellar Blade in the chat. It's gonna be a smash hit. I'm pretty sure it is. For one thing,
According
for
to
mainly
That's
one
the
thing, gameplay is
the
gonna
game
be
with
fun, I'm sure. But
that game's gonna break the internet.
it's the game with the
Like-
butt, right?
yeah, the game
Yeah.
with the butt.
Yeah.
Very elegant description. I love it.
Yeah, I guess I could play that game, for
Yeah,
reasons.
who's gonna? You're gonna twist your arm, make you play this game. Yeah,
Right?
just make sure you don't stream in front of your grandma. You
Yeah.
know?
The action looks fun though. Like in Stellar Blade.
Yeah, it
the
looks
action
fun.
like a lot
Like
of fun.
the game looks great. And some back on Halibut wise, some of the reviews I'm reading online, it says, well, the one that jumps out at me, it says Wes Anderson's BioShock.
Yes.
That jumps out. To me
Yes,
right
Oh,
away.
I
wow. Yeah, that's, like,
100% see that, bro.
So
It
right
does.
there, I'm right there. That sentence has got me. I'm willing to give it a go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I love indie games for this very reason, bro. I feel like I need to start covering a lot more indie games, man. Really do.
Make that.
Like that's how I started checking out. That's how I checked out Tunic. That's when I really looked at Tunic. I was like, bro, these guys are friggin'. And Tunic was made by one person, just so you know. Fun fact.
That's
one
incredible because that game is, yeah, that game is amazing.
Yes, and
That was a game I couldn't put down.
bro, when I started playing, I couldn't stop playing. I wanted to play the game.
Yeah.
One Germ. So I don't know if you saw Tunic, but Tunic is a Zelda inspired game, right? And I say
Yeah.
that very lightly because I can't think of any other game. But if you play Tunic, you see Zelda. But the game is difficult as hell.
Are we
number
talking
one.
Dark Souls
It's-
difficulty?
No,
or
there's
hard?
no
Kind of,
hand
yeah,
holding in the
it's
game.
definitely like a Zelda, like an old school Zelda roguelike game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no hand holding
plus,
in the game. No hand holding
indie games-
whatsoever.
indie games, folks, they need your support. They need you to talk about them with your friends. They need you to spread the word about them. I mean, granted, they have marketing behind them, but the most powerful marketing is in your hands. If you like a game that's an indie game, tell your friends about it. Shout it from the rooftops because they need your support.
Bro,
Shout
you
out to
can't
the
even
indies out
like
there.
it doesn't even teach you how to use your character, bro. You got to learn that on your own. They're like snippets
Sounds like a
of
fighting game.
like manuals that you will find that you can't translate until you get to a certain part, bro. Man, listen, it's taking me back right now. I feel like I want to play the game again right now, bro. The game is so much
Dude,
fun.
throw it on the community night, Cash. I'll check it out.
Mhm. But yeah. Which other game did we say? We said Planet of Lana. What do you think about that, Jerm?
This game, I was looking at it on Metacritic. Another fairly well positively reviewed game, currently going at 80. 80 on Metacritic and then the user score is 7.8, so it's pretty similar. So that's usually a good sign when the critics and users tend to be agreement on a game. Um, but the description of the game it says Planet of Lana brings a magically crafted world with an immense story crafted through a not skill based platformer. So the game it seems like the story of the game is
Is an Xbox exclusive?
this game is available for only PlayStation and Switch. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5,
And
and Switch.
PC.
I see it on Xbox here though.
Yeah, I
Mine
see
don't.
it on Xbox too on Metacritic.
Okay. Shout out to Xbox. But again, if you have a PlayStation 4, like, what are you doing? Seriously, audience. If you if you're still playing on PlayStation 4, what are you doing? But the game is a side-scrolling platformer. It reminds me a lot of games such as Hollow Knight, Pitfall, the most recent Prince of Persia. Just less with the combat, more in the platforming elements.
This looks cool.
It's got this watercolor aesthetic, which I personally always gravitate towards because this
You know what this
cell
reminds me of?
shaded style I always like.
You guys remember
So,
Flashback from his SNES days?
I do not.
Nobody remember
Yeah,
Flashback.
I don't remember that one either.
Jesus. It looks just like Flashback. Flashback was one of those games that were just like this, like watercolor art, but the movement was so fluid. It felt like it was an actual person's movement.
Does
Flashback
anyone
was such
remember
an amazing game.
Journey or Flower from when the
I
PlayStation?
remember both Journey and Flower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this jumps out to me like that right away.
Yeah. This looks cool.
I beat Journey on a plane on my Steam Deck
Oh,
recently.
really?
Actually, yeah. The game's only like 3 hours long.
Mm. This looks cool. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of
Uh,
Limbo to some degree.
you should make this the game Heartless plays when he loses the one when we reach 20
No.
episodes.
I want him to play Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown.
For in case you
Alongside.
don't know, Trez, Heartless, who should be popping in here shortly, he hates platformers. For some reason, he's got
Oh,
this
boy.
allergic reaction to platformers.
All of them,
Yeah.
even like Mario.
Yeah,
None. He doesn't like any
he's
of
just
them.
a platform hater apparently,
Oh,
and
man.
he's not an appreciator. I'm not gonna say we're hater. He just doesn't appreciate them. And
He
we
thinks
have a
he
challenge.
graduated from them, Trez.
On
It's
our
a kid's
20th
game.
Oh,
episode of
no.
this podcast, when we reach our 20th episode, he's gonna play a platformer on stream. That's a challenge for him.
Okay. Okay.
And I chose Prince of Persia. Oh, he's
Mhm.
here. Let's go.
Let's
We
go.
just
Speak of the
we just
devil.
invoked him in the chat, bro.
We just summoned
You
Heartless
guys
out of
manifested
nowhere.
that.
Let's go.
we manifested Heartless, chat.
Heartless is like I dream a genie. You say his name, and boom, here he is.
Yo. But yeah, bro. We're gonna thing. Give me a second. Let me close this out. I can't go back to work.
So on Legend of Lana, A Planet of Lana, the game seems really cool. It's another indie based game, so if you love indie developers, give this game a shot, and especially if you like platformers. I know we have a couple in chat right now that love platformers. Give the
Yeah,
give
Solo
the game a-
definitely. I saw him playing Dave the Diver the other day on his stream.
Yeah, and Celeste.
Definitely a lover of
Yeah.
that. So definitely would love games like those.
And another release is I'm just gonna go over this one real fast. Is the
Final
Final
Fantasy?
Fantasy 16 DLC has finally been released. I have never personally played Final Fantasy 16, so I can't pick up the DLC. But Final Fantasy 16 was almost a Game of the Year contender last year. So if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, and it seems like Final Fantasy is very trendy right now.
Mm.
If you're a fan, the DLC is out. Check it out if you're
Oh, Rising Tide?
interested.
Yeah, sure, you're going in and out.
I'm
Yeah.
going in and
I,
out. Really?
No, I can hear you now. You cut out for a quick second.
Oh, really? Yeah, something weird is happening, guys. My apologies. I don't know what to say about that. Let me turn on.
while Cash works through that, we have as Cash said earlier, Rest for the Wicked is currently on early access. It came on PC only. Cash was playing it on his stream earlier this week. I'm sure he has a lot to say about the game. But the vibe about the game, if anyone who's a fan of the Ori series from Moon Studios, they're describing this game as their dream project. So if you're a fan of Ori and they're the developer of the Ori series, this is the game that they have wanted to always make. So check if you're a fan, check it out. What it's been described as is a top-down dungeon crawling RPG that's in the spirit of Diablo and Path of Exiles. It's supposed to offer the traditional RPG, top-down RPG experience, but more with a Souls-inspired exploration and levels of traversal. So, in the video that I saw, they were climbing up like walls and stuff to find like chests and different items, very much like you would in the Dark Souls games. So,
Okay.
it seems really cool. So, do you have any? Well, what are your impressions on it, Cash?
Um, I gave my impressions earlier. I like the game.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to what
all
they
right.
got cooking. I'm excited for the multiplayer. I want to see what that looks like, and the PvP. I really want to see what PvP looks like. That looks like it's gonna be interesting. So,
Yeah, the game's on my radar. I love the look of it, the aesthetic, like
mm.
the gritty Dark Souls
It has this
monster.
gritty, but it still has this whimsical look
Yeah.
about it. It's like it has this
Yeah,
kind of like polish that I don't know how to explain it, but it looks so cool.
yeah. What are your thoughts on the game, Trez? If you know about it or have seen it.
Yeah, I've only really just seen it in passing.
Mhm.
I was looking at it or at a few like gameplay images before. It looks pretty cool. I'm not like a big like top down type of person though, so
Mhm.
probably not going to play it.
Okay.
Well, you have 700 more hours of Witcher to get through
That's
first, so.
true. Yeah, that and then the rest of my backlog.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Guys, we still didn't even
Um,
get to finish Gotham Knights. I just remember that we were playing Gotham Knights together.
I
We
know. I
didn't.
finished it on my own.
Yeah.
It's a terrible. It was not a good game.
See. Yeah, you did say that to me too.
I'm one of those people though. Is like once I start the game,
Mm-hmm.
like even if I hate it, I'm gonna do whatever I can to
To
beat
beat
it.
it.
yeah, you're
And yeah,
You're one
that
of
was
those completionist.
yes,
I like
that was Gotham Knights. That game is bad. I called the ending too.
But the
That's
thing
not
is,
me.
but now
Drop a
have
game real quick if it
wait, no,
doesn't.
wait. But I'm gonna be the guy this week, Jerem. But after seeing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League,
Okay.
comparatively,
Oh.
is it still a bad game?
Ugh. Okay. I'm not even gonna go there.
Yo, I'm gonna get
Comparatively.
that when it's like $10 on Steam.
Comparatively. Don't even I spent that money to play that game, bro. Just because I
Yeah,
wanted to play
that's
it.
what like once it's $10, I will buy that. I'll play through the story, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not spending 50, $60 on that game, whatever.
Suicide Squad is like that one X that won't leave this podcast. That one.
Every episode we've had so far, Trez, we found a way to put Suicide
Yeah.
Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
gonna be
very
a-
glad I did not buy that on release.
Bro.
That's gonna be an ongoing trek. When we get to 300 episodes or whatever of this show, we're still gonna be, that's gonna be an inside joke forever.
I love how I show up just in time for that.
Right.
Just in time.
Just in
Welcome
time.
in, Harless.
Just in time for the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Welcome in, Harless.
Welcome
How are you,
in,
bro?
Heartless.
Yo, what's
Everyone,
good, everybody?
show some appreciation for the Heartless_99.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Jerm. Thank you. How's everybody doing?
We good right now,
Chilling.
bro.
What game were
we're
you guys
good.
talking about?
We were
we were-
talking about Suicide Squad Killer Justice League.
No, you aren't. Stop
No,
that.
we weren't.
The top-down game.
No Rest for the
No
Wicked.
no rest for the kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I am of the camp where we don't play top-down games, unfortunately.
Right.
All right. Yeah, you're with me. All
I'm
right,
with
let's-
you. I like my shooters, my fighters, and if I like a RPG game enough, I'll play that. But top-down games are just they're very niche. And I had this bad experience with Diablo 2. I had a friend beg me to buy Diablo 2 to play with him. I bought it to play with him,
He
and
ditched
he
you.
never once played it with me. Never once.
Wow.
Never once.
So how do you
I
handle
wouldn't have
games
ditched
like
you though,
Overwatch?
Heartless.
You
I wouldn't
literally
have ditched
have
you.
to have friends to play those games.
Right.
In Overwatch, I actually played Ana, and at first it's tough, but if you get good enough, Ana is an impact character who can win games. One good nade can take out an entire team, win a team fight, you win the point, and turn the tides. Ana is one of those characters, but I totally agree. Imagine being a solo Bastion main and expecting to survive out here in the streets of Overwatch. Good luck to that.
Yeah,
As
bro.
a Symmetra main, I know what's up. No one will play with me.
Wow.
But,
So, guys, we're gonna go into the main topics of the podcast right now. One of the biggest ones this week were a lot of people are talking about this. Surprisingly, I'm not privy to this whole Little Big Planet situation. So, there was talks of the server shutting down. I don't know when exactly, but the server is about to shut down, and I guess some people had some issues about that. What
So,
are your thoughts?
GameRant.com is reporting that Sony has announced Little Big Planet 3 is official. The servers have already been closed since January,
Mhm.
but they officially announced that they are not going to be coming back.
Oh,
So,
okay.
fans are mourning the loss of like over 15 years of user-generated content because apparently it's going to be lost forever, at least.
Damn. That's if the community doesn't pick it back up, right? Where's your?
It seemed like that, you know. But
Mm.
according
Jeremy going in and out.
to the, it says over 5,000 user-generated levels are now lost in those, unless if the servers come back. That's very sad for anyone that loves that
Yeah,
game.
a lot of people put a lot of
Um,
work in those things, bro.
Has anyone played this game here? I have personally not.
I've only
I have
played
not
the
played.
first Little Big Planet, like back
Yeah.
when it came out.
I have not personally dived into that series, but I have seen a lot of videos of user-generated content. It's always very creative, so it makes me sad that that's being lost to time like
Harry
that.
Bogard, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
Oh, yo, shout out to Terry Bogard. He came in my stream the other day. He was saying some sus stuff, but shout out to Terry Bogard.
Thank you.
Um,
Appreciate the follow.
This brings up the valid point we had a few weeks ago about
hmm
if possible, make sure you guys buy physical media as much as you can because this is
Yes.
possible in any game, anywhere. They could just
Bro.
decide to take it away from you at any time. So
I've
keep that in
I've
mind,
sung
everyone.
that song so many times and people don't listen. So hey,
You are essentially just renting something that can be taken away at any time if you don't back up your stuff. Just
Hold on,
please
though. Hold on,
announce-
though. I hate to interrupt, but even if you bought a physical copy of this game, which I'm sure people did because the game came out 9 years and 7 months ago,
mhm.
even if you did have a physical copy, when they decide to shut their servers down, you no longer have
Yeah, the
access
server was
to all the
it still would have been thing, but
it
I'm
lost. It would have
yeah
been lost.
certain. So
Well, you have to understand about a game like this is you won't have access to other people's content that they created. You can still play whatever levels you made, but you won't have access to anyone else's. So
no, I get what Heartless is
yes,
saying.
you're right, Heartless.
Mhm.
That's unavoidable. But it's just sad, that we've reached this point.
This opens up a question, though.
hmm
How long should developers attempt to keep their games alive? Like when they build a game and develop a game, you're going to develop a game in which users can upload and other users can download. Should you not have a 20, 30, 40-year plan for that game and its survival? Or are we going to cap it at 10 years and then, or is it a performance thing? When people stop playing the game, then we don't need servers anymore. But like when you go play a game like Street Fighter 4, you can still go play ranked games in Street Fighter 4.
Mhm.
So it really makes you ask the question: how long should they be designing these games to last?
Uh,
For me
to
personally,
me,
I'm
I think
thinking more about multiplayer games, right?
um,
I'm thinking more about single player games, not even multiplayer games. Thinking more about single player games. That is where I'm having an issue when they take those games off of like the storefront or whatever, and then you don't have access to those games anymore. That sucks. Though
before I
that is
get
what
into
I'm talking about.
my
That sucks.
before I
But
get into my
multiplayer games,
opinion,
I
I'm curious.
can. Hmm?
Before I get into my opinion, sorry to cut you off. You were saying something, Cash.
No, I'm good.
I was curious. What do you think, Trez? Before I get into my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think it should be kind of like what Heartless said. It should probably be how the game is performing. I think there's no sense if like no one's playing the game. I kind of agree that like yeah, it sucks, but this game's also what 15 years old, so
Mhm.
like it makes sense, you know. While this is why I love emulation, you know, with
Right.
like preserving games. I used to be a big component for physical copies. And then moved over to PC, and now I just buy everything on Steam. Um, I love Steam as a company, and like you know,
Me too.
they could just one day like take the games away, and you wouldn't be able to download them. I don't think they would,
Mhm.
but I know that games that like get delisted on Steam, if you purchased it, you can still download them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Mhm.
For me, I just don't like the idea of me paying into a game, and especially a game like Big Planet that probably did have microtransactions in it, and then now I can't use that content. For me, that pisses me off. Like, I think there should at least be some level of support for all games forever, you know?
My
That's
thing
my
is they have to
opinion.
pay for those servers, so that's probably
Yeah.
what they're looking at. They're looking at it from a business perspective at the end of
Yeah,
the
it
day.
doesn't
Then
make
release a
sense.
sequel.
Yeah, it
Release
doesn't
a
make sense to
sequel.
keep it. It's not viable. If it's not viable, they won't keep on like maintaining it.
Release a sequel. Even if the sequel doesn't sell, it'll sell enough to cover your server costs, most likely, But
So like
hey,
you mean
I don't
like
know.
release a sequel that supports like older content? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like for example, like you create like a remastered or like a Game of the Year edition that has all the DLC content in it. You just re-release that, someone will buy it. It may not pop off, but it'll at least get you some money coming in to keep your servers on. I don't
Now
know, but maybe the market research is otherwise, so I don't know. But
a lot of the creations is what like level design, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
you make your own levels and
Um,
people play them. Yeah.
can you download levels like to your console? Because then that way, I mean, it would. You can't download all of them, but you know, you could at
At
least
least,
download like your favorite levels and then keep them
Mm.
on your console.
right?
Having not played the game, I can't say,
Yeah,
but
I'm just
um,
making assumptions here.
yeah.
Mhm. That's
Anyone who
actually
does
a
know
good idea
is
though. Yeah.
turned off a little bit. Cause show some support for your game. Put some pressure on these devs to turn
I
those servers
I
back
have
on.
something to say.
All right, Heartless.
Little Big Planet 3, a game in which users build the levels, aka the users, the players are the developers,
Mhm.
and other players download them, right?
Right.
That game should last forever. If
Mhm.
you think about it, that game is literally like the developer saying, "Hey guys, do our job for us. We should be able to keep up a server for you, and we need to find ways to keep this game creative, aka
Interesting. Yeah.
adding new materials for level building, adding new blocks for level building, and you
Mhm.
guys get to do this forever." That game should live forever. I don't know where they
Especially
went
since
wrong
it's a
with that.
Sony property, they should have found a way to even adding other like Sony licenses and properties within that game. That would have been insane.
That
I
would
think
Imagine
they
be
like
did
insane.
because I
they
think
did.
you
But I
could get a Kratos like skin for
Oh
Sackboy.
yes, you could. You
Yeah.
could. You
Wow.
could.
See. So yeah, Heartless is right. Those the game should have still
and
Should
for
been
have
me,
active.
lasted.
Yeah, should have
for,
lasted.
for me, servers aren't small. It's not like I'm filling up the space in my phone. Servers have tons of data, So
Mhm.
it's like there's space on that server. So I don't understand why they don't keep it alive. Especially for a user generated game like that.
Right.
But hey, this
Hey.
is the way you kill games, folks. Like this is the way games die. They don't die because the players stop playing them. They die because developers stop supporting them. That's how it goes.
I'd say 50-50 on that because sometimes they go based on like how the game is performing. They're not just gonna kill it. If a game is banking, they're making money off a game. They're not just gonna kill it.
Well, in a term of a game where it's been so many years since that game came out, you're not gonna make any more money on it. So the money that you put in making the game is already spent. That money's off the books already. So it's like, what are you expecting? But hey, I know we need to move on, but still, like, I just don't get it. But
All right. Next topic would be the whole. Speaking of PlayStation, by the way, this whole Sony new like PlayStation overlay for PC. So now PC players that are possibly like PlayStation faithful, or they have older games that they have on PlayStation, can now move over their achievement, so to speak, on PC. So you can play a game. I think this launched with the recent Ghost of Tsushima game that
yeah,
came to PC. So if you earn achievements on the game during your playthrough on PC, you get the achievement on your PlayStation as well, which is super dope.
So is it
Xbox already does it.
cross
Yeah.
progression too? Because I never got through Ghost of Tsushima, and if I buy that on Steam and I get my progression from
I'm not sure.
PS4,
That's something to look
that would
into.
be amazing.
Yeah.
a
that would
question
be
I
dope.
have about this right away: does that mean that my PlayStation has to always be connected to the internet all the time?
No.
If I
It's your
turn it
No,
off-
it
linking your
syncs up in
account.
the cloud.
Yeah, it's linking
Okay.
your account because Xbox does the same thing.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
a question though.
Yeah.
So you have to have 2 copies of the game though.
No,
still,
you
no
don't.
matter
Well,
what.
oh, I get what you're saying. Yes, you would have to have 2 copies of the
2
game.
copies of the
essentially.
game. You'd have to have the PC copy of the game. Then you get your achievements. And in order to flex those achievements on PlayStation, you'd have to go buy a PlayStation copy of the game.
No, it would show up in your PlayStation
I see. Okay, cool.
because you're playing the game.
So is
just need
PlayStation
to
trying
link
to
your
make like
account.
a Game Pass now,
You-
like an Xbox Pass, Xbox Game,
No.
whatever?
You're
this
just
is called?
linking. You're linking the PlayStation overlay to your game because I'm pretty sure it has that the ability to do that. To like sign into your PlayStation account, and then whatever achievements you make in the game just shows up on your PlayStation overlay.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah. so-
gotcha. Interesting. It's kind of cool to see these walls, these borders breaking down between
slowly
PC
but
and
surely.
console.
Slowly but surely.
So this is a step in the right direction. It would be great. The goal, fellas, of course, is no more console exclusivity. That's the goal. So
Is it PC until everything until all are one?
Yeah, PC all the way.
Yeah, PC until all are one. That's really what it is. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are benefiting the most from all of this. They're just looking at peasants. They're just looking at the console war like peasants.
PC Master Race. That's why I made the Switch.
Here's looking at you, Nintendo. Get on board, okay?
Yeah,
Here's
Nintendo will never.
Never.
I want to play your game in HD. What the hell, Nintendo?
I mean, you can play a lot of them.
I want to
just
play
might
them in
not be
4K.
legal.
No.
I wanna
Oh,
play
the
them in 4K.
Uzu.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, bro! I can't believe they even did that. To be honest, it's like they're saying they lost a bunch of money on Breath of the Wild due to Uzu. I'm like, but how? Like, how many? That sold millions, bro.
The way I see it, like you have this wallet full of cash. Like, so you have a wallet of like full of $100 bills, and a 5 falls out. That's what happened in Nintendo. You know, it's like they lost
Yeah,
a little bit of money.
100%.
You know.
No, I think it was just preventative measures. They want to
Yeah.
like stake a claim. Like, listen, all right, that's what it felt like to me. It
I
felt
mean,
like
they've been like
wanna
this
make
for
a statement.
everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just emulators. It's like, people streaming their content.
Mhm.
It's everything. Nintendo has to make a buck off of everyone else, and
And I also think this may be a little bit of a cultural divide as well. It just feels like Japanese companies are very protective of their IPs.
Yeah.
And it's just their culture. It's just how they are as business people.
Mhm.
You can't fault them for that. It is legal. It's their IPs. They can do with it what they want. It just feels unfair.
Yeah, and I also
as
hear
it
Breath
as
of the
that.
Wild doesn't run well on the Switch
Yeah.
because it can't manage it, right? And most people, the reason why they ported over to play it on their PC was because they could add like this patch that Nintendo can't issue at the moment.
you could
and
get
they
it
were
running
able
at
to play
60
the game.
frames per second. Yeah.
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 So
And we'll be talking about Namco's practices here later, I think. And it just feels like this is very, it just feels this is the way game businesses are now.
No,
Oh.
Nintendo's been notorious for this, though. To be honest.
Yeah, they were the OGs. They were the innovators here.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's following their
Oh, for
lead.
sure. For sure. I think their business practices are definitely different. And I think it's because they're Japanese owned, right? So
Yeah, it's
their
Japanese
laws are
company.
totally different when it comes to like fair use
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So yeah, forget
correct.
about that. Next thing. So this is a lot of people were talking about this game being somewhat of a guess you could say Call of Duty killer, XDefiant. The server test launched, I want to say Friday, ended today. Did anybody get to play it? And if you did, what are your
Um,
thoughts?
It's a
I
negative
don't.
on me.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
get
gonna
to
Call
play
of
back
it
out
Duty's
on
either.
dead.
this because I don't play shooters. So
Call of
this is
Duty's
all
dead.
your guys' game.
I feel like if Call of Duty's gonna die, it's gonna kill itself. That's how I look at it.
It is killing itself, and I think that Warzone is going to be the only thing that survives.
It's
I
these.
really, but the thing is, they're only focused on Warzone. To be honest, like if you really look at it, that's where most of their attention and all their dev are.
Yeah,
It's Warzone. Bro, they
For me,
literally dropped a non-game last year in Modern
uh,
Warfare 3,
they
which is
they downloaded a full
basically an
DLC.
expansion. It was a glorified DLC, bro. They
for
repurposed they repurposed a Warzone map and made it into a story. Like
I
I'm
mean,
not even joking. That's what
I'm
they
not
did.
surprised. Like the people that play COD, and I'm sorry if that's anyone here or anyone in the chat, but
Oh no, no, no.
like very, very, very casual type of gamer usually that plays COD.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing that they do with that EA is doing with Madden, where it's just like they know it's gonna sell, they know people are gonna buy it. They basically take a shit and fucking wrap it in new wrapping paper and just throw it out there because they know that it's gonna make money.
They have an
And
installed fan
COD's
base.
been doing this for years.
Years.
Like
Mhm.
that's
yeah,
why
nice
we haven't
wrapping
gotten a
paper.
good Madden
and
game in 2 decades too. So
yeah,
yeah.
and as a representative of an esports organization, and we do compete in Call of Duty. Like the scene has really been screwing us over. Quick story time on that.
Mhm.
I was Call of Duty League earlier this year, and they invited a bunch of teams. And right about the time that judgment came, where Xbox could keep Activision, that finally went through. And then all of a sudden, the league announced there was a cap on the amount of teams that were allowed. They booted everyone out, and we didn't get a chance to compete. So it's like, so they're just going really really hard now on just this casual scene, and they don't give a crap about the competitive anymore. So it's very very sad to see it go that direction, and COD as a whole, yeah, as you're saying, it's gonna kill itself with this current
Yeah.
practices.
State of affairs.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think an Ubisoft game is gonna
No,
take
it's not gonna take the reins. I'm
the
sorry, it's
lead.
not.
Yeah.
if you ask me, and then PVE games, co-op PVE games like Helldivers are gonna kill COD faster than anything else because people are not gonna put up with that bullshit of the toxic PvP experience that COD provides. If they can just have a fun experience on a game like
Personally, to me, Call of Duty was never a competitive game. I always considered it to be an arcade run and gun shooter. I like Warzone. Don't get me wrong. I play Warzone. It's fun to play with my friends, but it's not the kind of game where I'm going to invest 1,500 hours in trying to be one of the better players on the planet.
Yeah. And
I don't
everything I
like-
said about COD, I say with a heavy heart because it is a big part of the esports scene, but it's slowly losing its relevance, unfortunately.
And the
So,
thing is, like, I'd say 80 to 90% of people who are playing COD and Warzone are only playing that game, and maybe like a sports game. Like they're not going out and playing Helldivers. They're not going out and playing these other games because it's like it's just the most extreme casual game that there is.
Right.
yeah.
And this
I
looks
wanna
like
see
Call
it
of
turn
Duty to
around.
me. To be honest, it looks like Rainbow Six. That's what it
Wait,
kind
wait,
of
wait,
feels
wait.
like to me.
This is not Call of Duty?
No, it's not Call of Duty. This
I had
is
the same
XDefiant.
thought.
Hey, yo! We outside!
It's XDefiant. This is XDefiant. It looks like even the map looks like the Division, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. It
Doesn't
looks
it?
nice. This game looks nice. This game looks nice.
It looks
yeah.
like a first-person shooter, The Division, bro.
Yo, guys. So I've come to the realization that you're better off just getting a 2 terabyte hard drive and downloading all the games. Because if you think about it, Warzone's fun. Overwatch has its fun. Apex has its fun.
Hmm.
All of these games could be fun for their own reason, for one reason or another.
Right.
And if it's a free game, I'll probably try it out. Is this free?
I'm not sure. Is it gonna be?
It's
Alright.
developed by Ubisoft, so probably not.
Probably.
No. Okay, guys, listen. I take it all back. This game's gonna flop.
But
game's
they're
gonna flop.
dropping a new free-to-play thing though, Trez. They're dropping a free-to-play Division. So
Are they
yeah, Heartland.
a free-to-play division? Really?
Yeah, Heartland.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
gonna be a survival, some kind of survival game though.
XDefiant. Okay, hold on, wait.
Yeah.
I'll just look it up in Steam.
Yeah. Look
know
it
what I
up and
noticed?
let me know.
You know what I
What?
noticed?
What?
So
Oh,
you
it's
guys,
not on
you
Steam.
guys said that players took Breath of the Wild and ported it to PC to make it run at 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
Chat, remember this. Gamers are not stupid. They're not stupid. And the gamers whose opinions really matter, those people are especially not stupid. So if you're
Mhm.
going to put out a full price game in today's day and age, you better make sure that game is fire or you'll be prepared to watch it flop, just like Suicide Squad for the 1700th time on this channel.
You've said it in the past, Heartless. If you're not breaking records, you're falling behind.
It's almost like that. If,
So-
if you're gonna release a shooter game and it doesn't get up to 25,000 viewers on Twitch, and if it doesn't have a lot of sales, it's like it's
You could
almost
apply
like
that concept to any game. If you're not breaking records, you're just gonna fall behind. You know?
yo. Think about it this way: if a game comes out, right, if it's still not being played 2 years later, that game has ultimately failed, and you probably will never see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I think it especially factors in for live service game.
Yes, in today's market, if your whole plan is to have a live service game and survive off making sales, and your game is not killing it 2 years later, there's literally most likely no
Right.
chance for you guys to make it big in what you're trying to be, which is big in esports.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna be a little radical, but hear me out, guys. So in order for games like these to say, in my opinion, 100% relevant, is you need to have a really thriving competitive meta. And hear me out. You need to have a thriving, fair, fun to watch meta. And what's going on with games like these is if you've watched one match, you've watched every match.
You've seen them all.
They're all
Yeah.
really the same.
It's pretty much
So,
Call of Duty. This is Call of Duty. This is Call of Duty,
yeah, it's
bro.
like if you've watched one match, you've watched them all. So, it needs to be fun to watch so that people will tune in and want to support
There
the
needs to
game.
be some
support
level
the
of
players that are
innovation to
really
first
good.
player for FPS games, bro. I'm sorry. It really feels like
And-
there needs to be.
The way that these needs to be is these leagues need to generate revenue like pay-per-view style revenue, just like boxing does. And you pay to watch these high-level players cook and have a good time. But the game's got to be fun to watch first. And as of right now, it's not fun to watch because, as I said, it all looks the same. I could watch this and watch this 2 years from now, and it'll look the same. It'll
So
be
you
the
think
same.
you think
experience.
Ubisoft would launch their own like XDefiant League?
Think about how Capcom Pro Tour has done it.
Mm,
It's fun, right? It's really cool. There's a lot of hype surrounding that, or
Right.
how Riot does League of Legends. There's a lot of hype around their games,
Yeah, I want
and
my
they don't
honest
let it
opinion, bro.
die.
You
So-
wanna-
Confirmation, it is free to play.
It is free to play.
Nice. I'll
Okay.
try it out for sure then.
Yeah. Okay.
So
you wanna-
games need a really strong competitive scene to really last forever.
This game, I don't know, guys. I don't know. But the last time people were talking about, what was the other game that came out recently? The Finals? People were talking about Finals was going to be like the Call of Duty killer, and the Finals fell off heavy.
You want
I
to know how
still
hard
play
the finals fell off?
though.
You know how hard it fell off? I
Yeah.
installed it and have 0 minutes in the game.
Yeah, but as a person who doesn't play shooters, these are not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
I
bro.
really
The
I
Finals
find
fell
shooters
off
really boring to watch
hard.
competitively. Personally, I enjoy fighters or other types of competitive games so much more. That's
Mm.
just me. But
Bro, I don't know.
um,
In my honest opinion, I feel like the last time we saw a game, a FPS game, be very innovative, and I'm sorry, guys, you've heard me say this before, but Titanfall was the last time I saw a real like innovation in FPS games, bro. I'm sorry. That game was
would-
Oh, I mean, are we
Or even
talking
there.
multiplayer or single player? Because single player,
Multiplayer.
Doom
Multiplayer.
Eternal is
Yeah.
was
No, not
extremely.
single player.
yeah.
Definitely multiplayer. I'm talking about
I know
multiplayer.
Fortnite is third person, but I would call it innovative too. I know it's third person though, but
Mhm.
still, I would say that innovative.
No,
That was
but I'm
super
talking in
innovative.
terms
Yeah.
of like with Titanfall, the mechanics, the fact that you could call in a Titan to help you in your bro. Listen, don't even get me started on Titanfall, bro. Titanfall was amazing, bro,
Man will not stop talking about Titanfall.
because the game was
correct
great.
me-
Heartless.
correct me if I'm-
Honest Tombstone is gonna say, sign the petition at www. Let's bring Titanfall back.
Correct
They
me
need
if
to
I'm
bring it
wrong,
back.
guys. I'm gonna put the Mount Rushmore of innovative first-person shooters as 007, Halo,
Mm-hmm.
Titanfall.
Fortnite, and Overwatch.
I'm
That's
gonna
my
say
order.
something.
Counter-Strike was like the original
Yes.
multiplayer game.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say something. I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna piss off a lot of people, especially Hades. Halo falls in the same category as run and gun arcade shooter. If you ask me, it is not a game that that is even built in a way that could have a competitive scene. If you I know people are gonna hate this, but to me,
Under
when
for
a
sure,
game,
Shank.
when you kill somebody in one shot, I to me
No, I'm
it has
saying
a
the
very
Mount
arcade
Rushmore.
run
I
and
only
gun
have 4
shooter.
spots. I only have 4 spots, so I have to pick a game from every era. You know what I mean? So
Can we get Hades in the waiting room?
Hades, you want to go in? Like,
I
you
want-
want-
I
your
want to
game.
hear.
I
I
only
want
have 4 spots, so I had to pick a game from every era, and I think I covered them all right there. I think I did.
Hades, if you
But
want to
sound
voice
off,
your
guys,
opinion,
if
hop
you
in the
know.
waiting room, bro, because I would love to
Yeah.
hear what you got to say.
But again, not a first.
What were your four, Germ?
It was 007,
I agree with that.
Overwatch, Fortnite, and the fourth one I said was
Hey,
what was the
you
fourth
didn't say
one I
Halo.
said?
you said
Halo.
something else.
Roll the
You said
tape.
Halo?
Oh, Halo, yes. Roll the
Halo.
tape. Roll the tape. Yeah, those are the 4 that I put. I think it covers 4 shooters from 4
Hades
different
is
eras.
coming.
Yeah.
He's in there. He's in here.
He said 1 sec. He said 1 sec.
I
He
think
said
I
1
would
sec.
remove Halo and put Counter Strike.
You're gonna
agree with
remove.
you
Oh,
on it.
you better be ready for Hades right now, Trez. You better be ready. To
No, what he
blast
said
it.
is
Hold on, just
fair.
roll.
What he said is
No.
so fair.
Yeah.
Counter Strike
Counter
has way
Strike
more.
needs to be there. Like it
Yes,
needs to.
yes,
Yeah.
and it has way more competitive integrity to me than Halo.
Yeah,
And, but you can't deny the influence, though. I was talking about influence on the genre.
But
Strike
in
has
terms of like
influence, bro.
online
Innovate.
multiplayer,
Yeah.
like
And
Counter-Strike.
innovate.
online
Innovate.
multiplayer, Counter Strike was like the first thing to do that. Really, everything else was LAN. Like it was, and it's still being played. Like it still has a huge.
I
following.
said the
One of
Mount
the biggest
Rushmore of
player
innovation.
base.
Mount
Mhm.
Rushmore of innovation of FPS.
Wait,
Those
hold on, Jerm. I hate to interrupt you.
I
You
don't think you
know
have
that
Halo without Counter Strike.
you know
Counter-Strike,
that you know that Counter Strike was initially a mod of another game.
Half-Life.
Of Half-Life,
Half-Life,
which is
yeah.
one of the best
Half-Life's
first-person shooters ever.
Ever, yeah.
Half-Life's not competitive though. It's not competitive.
No,
It's
no,
not.
but Counter Strike is.
Exactly.
Counter Strike is. Yo,
Hades is here. Hades is here.
Sorry, Cash.
Hades
I
is
opened up a can of worms on right now.
Oh, yes,
I
you
want to
did.
hear the talk.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna bring in one of our viewers. He's gonna share his opinions on Halo, and he's gonna. This debate is gonna be happening strictly between Hades and Heartless. So,
God.
let's go.
Oh God.
I'm not getting involved.
No.
But before you jump in here, Hades, be nice to our guest, please. Be nice to our guest.
No,
he
roast him.
doesn't know. He doesn't know what's up with the Halo. He doesn't know.
Hades, welcome in. What's up?
Okay, so first of all,
Yo.
what makes you say Halo is not competitive?
Okay. So to me, it has a run and gun style gameplay to me. An
Okay.
arcade shooter style gameplay to me. And to me, tell me if I'm wrong. And I know at the top level of any game, no matter how simple it is, you can get complex. But I feel like Halo is not the kind of game that has the strategic gameplay required as like a Counter Strike or an Overwatch or a Valorant or a
Wait a minute.
a Siege, Rainbow Six Siege.
You say Halo is like an arcade run and gun shooter, and then you bring up Overwatch?
Heartless, just
Overwatch is a team
Stop
shooter.
while you're
Overwatch
ahead.
is a team shooter.
Stop while you're
It's
ahead.
like a shooter with like smite elements.
It is still a
Um,
team shooter. It is still a team shooter.
So here's the thing. Halo was not built to be a competitive game. A lot of those games that you named were built to be competitive games.
Facts.
Halo was not competitive by the developers. During the MLG era, the community came up with a rule set and like standardized weapons spawns on the map, etc., in order to create a competitive rule set, a lot like the way the Smash community did for their game.
Before we
So
continue,
wasn't-
real quick, I just want
yeah.
to say I had to text my wife right now saying there's a good chance this podcast is gonna run late. I'm gonna pick her up late for work. Just that's okay.
Oh my
This
god.
is about to get deep right now. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so like I was saying, you're correct. It was not built to be a competitive game. However, it had the capability to like set up multiplayer lobbies with rule sets that you could deem competitive. If everybody's starting with the same weapons, everybody knows where stuff is positioned on the map, and everybody has an objective, whether it's, a team deathmatch, capture the flag, bring a bomb to the enemy base, whatever the objective may be. You can set that up in a fashion that it is a competitive game, and people
Just like
did for a
Smash.
long time. Halo was
Just
huge
like
in the
Smash.
MLG era,
Just like
and
Smash.
Halo's had like a healthy competitive scene. In fact, that's probably the only thing that's been healthy for the last 10 years.
Real quick, Hades, I would say we were talking about developer-supported games with Little Big Planet earlier. Halo, the community has really kept that game alive for the most part, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Hades, but it feels like the
Yeah,
community
for sure.
has really, really kept that game in the public eye. It's kept the developers supporting it. And when the developers have stepped out of line, the community has come over and been like, get that shit out of here. And it's kept the game engaged. It's kept the community, it's kept the game from disappearing like 007 or any other. Has anyone outside of right now, how often have you talked about Quake? You know what I mean? It's not a game that's in everyday conversation, but Halo is. And, so that's
No, but
why I
Re-
put it on Mount
Reaper
Rushmore.
made a good point in chat that Quake is kind of started the competitive.
It did.
That's where esports went big, and I agree with that one.
Yeah.
So I even think Quake should be up there too. But
What about 007?
I will still defend Counter Strike.
problem
Deserves
with-
to be up there, and yeah,
But
007
you have
too.
to keep in mind, my Mount Rushmore that I made was for innovation. It wasn't for competitive games. I said innovation, but yeah, go
But
ahead.
Quake came out in what, the mid '90s, like
Yeah.
before any of that was even happening.
Mhm.
Well, if we're talking about innovation, then Halo is very innovative because it pioneered the first-person shooter control scheme for consoles.
That's big.
Before
right there.
that, like there wasn't like dual analogs, like it was always
Just the
said by
idea of
shooter
playing
players that
against
you can't
people
play
across the
shooters on
world.
console, right?
Mhm.
Just the idea of
That was a
playing
big
against
thing
people
for a
across
long
the
time.
globe, right? That's innovative in itself, right?
Yeah,
So-
that's Halo and Microsoft because they used Halo 2 to launch Xbox Live. That was like
I'm
the
just saying we
premier-
wouldn't be where we are today in competitive shooters without Halo. I think that's fair to say. 100% fair to
We
say.
wouldn't be where we are today without the Big Bang. But you
Mhm.
don't see us
Wow,
shouting out the
Heartless.
Big Bang.
They made a whole show about it, Heartless. They made a whole show.
No, but I think that's accurate just because of how huge it was during like the era when MLG was coming up. That's really like the origin of esports, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
the
all those
ELS.
games aren't as popular anymore,
ESL.
especially after games like the ones you mentioned. I mean, Counter Strike has always been there, but
Yeah.
Valorant, Overwatch, all these hyper like design competitive games have
And,
largely like taken its place.
What about
and that's
fighting
kinda
games?
Understandable.
the fighting game Mount Rushmore.
No. What about fighting games in terms of like starting the esport world, the esport culture?
Street Fighter stands head and shoulders alone in that scene. They were the starters of the whole
Competitive
There
gaming?
wouldn't be a competitive fighting game scene without Street Fighter, and I think it's 100% fair to say. Yeah, sure, there's other games that people can do competitively, but it wouldn't be anywhere it is today without Street Fighter 2.
Mm.
That it's the
Yeah,
Mount
Street
Rushmore
Fighter
would have
2
four
started-
Street Fighter heads on it. That's how it would.
People back in the day used to hear rumors and myths about so and so over at this
Yeah, before the
arcade and this
internet.
and that. We got it, yeah, before the internet and all that, and they would take trips to go from North Cal to South Cal, East Coast to West Coast, because that would, I think, if correct me if I'm mistaken, is that not the first place esport culture that we've ever seen esport culture in the fighting game community?
Probably
I'm sorry.
accurate.
Can you say that again, Heartless? I didn't catch everything. I'm sorry.
I said, would we not say that the first place we see in esports would be the fighting game community?
You
Yeah,
are,
esport
I would
culture?
agree with that in the 90s, definitely.
Yeah.
In the arcades.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, you are correct. You are correct as I know there's a different answer here, but it's just not coming to mind right now. But yes, you are overall correct.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Cash. We went way off.
No,
topic.
you're
I'm
good.
so
This is
sorry.
good.
I
This is
enjoyed
good for
that
content.
Yeah.
This is good for content.
This is content gold right here, guys.
Yeah.
Content gold.
We
Content
legit
gold.
had this man come in defending Halo. Like, listen,
Yeah.
bro, you're not
But
about to
if you
be
guys have,
disrespecting Halo.
I had originally put a question at the end. Can we switch it up, our Cash?
Oh, we could
can that
definitely switch
be-
it. We could definitely switch it.
What would be on your fighting
Fighting
game
game-
Mount Rushmore?
Not even fighting
Fighting
game,
game.
just we could do FPS, like, since that was the big topic of
Yeah.
conversation. If y'all want to do that,
Who is on your FPS Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore, like,
Yes,
We
send us
jumping
your
into
answer.
that now, or are we waiting for the end for that?
we're waiting for the end for
That's
that.
what
We're waiting for the end
at
for
the
that.
Trez, at the end we always have like a question of the week.
Okay,
Question of
okay.
the
for
week.
the
Yeah.
audience.
So yeah,
that we'll revisit that at the end.
yeah.
Hold on,
Chad's been
Trez,
popping off about
Trez.
that so far.
Yeah.
Trez, is that an
What's up?
arcade cabinet in the back of your room?
Yes,
Yes,
this man
it
is
is.
awesome, bro. I told you, Trez is awesome.
Hey,
I keep telling you, yo, you don't understand.
Ooh.
You
Is that
also
the
need to go
arcade
check out his
one-up, or is
channel,
that
chat.
legit?
It's
MK
arcade one-up.
Temple.
Okay,
MK
still,
Temple.
that's fucking badass.
Yeah, go
That's
check out
badass.
MK Temple. He has over 8,000 followers on YouTube right now. This man is
I'll,
a Mortal
put it on the
Kombat
chat.
encyclopedia, bro. I'm not even joking. Go check him
I
out.
love Mortal Kombat.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
follow him right now.
In terms of my Mount Rushmore, the only one I'd be willing
He
to
just
take
posted
off
in chat.
would be Overwatch. That's the only one I'd be willing to discuss moving. But
I
we're moving
understand
on.
why
Let's
you
switch
put
to
it
the next
there.
topic. Yeah, because of the
So,
team-based thing, there's a
yeah.
lot of imitators, you know. But yeah,
Overwatch
you can usually tell how innovative a game is by the number of imitators it has, and there's a lot of Overwatch imitators these days. So
Yeah, it really popularized the hero shooter
Yeah.
like wave. Pretty much every big popular shooter since then has been.
What about
There's,
Siege
like-
though? Do you think Siege had any influence on a game like Overwatch, like a team-based? You
But
know,
Did it have operators when it came out, or did they add that in later?
we're bringing it back to
sure.
imitators. Everyone imitates Overwatch. Any team-based game like that imitates Overwatch. So
Pause for a second.
and
chat.
and
Let me
look what
see.
Reaper said. Look what Reaper said.
Mhm.
Overwatch seemed like a remix of Team Fortress 2, and I've
That's
heard
true.
this before.
Yeah, I've
That
heard that
is
before.
true.
as
I'll
well.
It
give
is
that.
true. Yeah. TF2
I'll give it
definitely.
that. I'll give it that.
Oh,
I'd be willing
okay.
to switch Overwatch for Team Fortress. I would.
Stop,
Okay,
stop
so
for a second.
if you
Hold
look
on.
at it that way, Overwatch was inspired by Team Fortress. Team Fortress must have been inspired by something. That thing was inspired by something, and that thing was inspired by Counter Strike.
Thank you. Yes.
So
Thank
it goes
you.
right back to Counter Strike.
Nice.
It all does.
Okay, you're trying to reel us in, Cash. I can tell. Let's
No,
let's
no,
move
but I'm
it
looking
along.
at what Solo said in Trez. Like, Trez, pop quiz. I need to test how true you are in MK knowledge.
Yeah, Bo
That was
Reicha,
by
they turned
far-
him into an old lady.
Let's just shout out. This was by far the most intense FPS debate between any
So
people
far,
that
yes,
only play
yes.
fighting games.
Uh,
So just for the record, you know. But
Well, let's
it's,
shout out to Hades for popping in.
Shout out to the MK creator, the Street Fighter creator, and the esports guy, and the variety streamer are all arguing about FPS. Let's go.
Mhm. All right, Hades, thank you for coming in, bro.
And thank you, 80s.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, man.
Of course.
That was fun, bro. That was
I,
fun.
I
was
love
fun.
I
That was
love
fun.
having guests on the show.
Yes.
Seriously. Yeah. Did you know? Did anyone notice when we started talking about that, and it, all of a sudden our number of viewers went up?
Mhm.
So
It's
shout
hard to
out
start
the
to
Trez,
piss
shout out
people
to the
off.
Trez. Let's go. We found the recipe.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, let's move on. So there's potential leaks of a roadmap for Fortnite. What do you guys think about this whole thing? I'm not really big on Fortnite like that. I haven't played Fortnite in probably about a year.
Okay. Do you mind if I lead off, Cash?
Go ahead.
So according to this link by gamerrant.com, there were unconfirmed reports that the next season of Fortnite, or the current season of Fortnite, is going to include more Marvel, a new Marvel season, a Pirates of the Caribbean collaboration. It's going to have more Lego, something called Rocket Racing, and
I've seen those.
something called Picture in Picture. It's going to be Karol G, Snoop Dogg, Billie Eilish, Metallica. and apparently they're bringing back the OG Fortnite map for another go.
Okay.
So
When in doubt,
Trez,
bring back the OG map.
exactly. Trez,
Yeah.
what do you think about all of that?
I haven't played Fortnite in a long time. I
Mhm.
don't really care, to be perfectly honest. My comment for this section was going to be: does any of us still play Fortnite?
Bro,
I
I
do
play Fortnite in the
applaud
never
them,
played
though.
Fortnite, not 1 minute ever. It's never took up any of my hard drive space and any device I've had.
I never
And
got it as big into it as other people did. I understand why it did get big though, and I do like. It's pretty amazing what they are doing with it. Like, I am impressed, but it's just not something that I really play.
Right.
for me, it's overwhelming. All that building and it's just overwhelming. I can't handle it. I can't hang. So
Mm. Heartless, how about you?
All right, so I will say this:
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of innovation. There is not a single other game. Oh, they
We're
innovated
talking
in
about-
two
hold on,
ways.
Heartless. Overall innovation in games.
Overall
or just-
innovation. Overall
okay.
innovation. Not only did they create the best battle pass that's ever existed,
Mhm.
but they also have building. There's no other game that has building. And if you were to put building in another game right now, you are 100% stealing from Fortnite.
Mm.
So they have innovation. I'm not saying the game is great or I enjoy the game. My imagination, I imagine hopping on Fortnite today would be me getting my cheeks clapped by a 6-year-old, having him say some shit about my mom, me uninstalling the game, and getting right back on Street Fighter.
Fortnite didn't innovate that. That's been around.
That's Call of Duty.
That's
That's
Call
Call
of
of
Duty,
Duty.
bro.
That's Call of Duty.
That
Duty.
okay,
I
Heartless.
don't know.
know
That's
you're
been
kinda-
going on for a
I know
while.
you're kind of
Mhm.
new to the FBC scene. I mean, you're not new, but you're newer to the streaming part of it. The arcade scene and the fighting games, it was like that. People were always talking about your mom, talking about what they're gonna do to your sister, talking about all that stuff. That's just the FGC in the arcade days, and
Hmm.
so that's always been around. So
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this whole thing for Fortnite. I'm like, meh. At this point, I know the Disney thing is probably because Epic and Disney just recently did
yeah,
like
they're
a
like
whole
in bed
team up.
together,
Didn't they
right?
buy like stocks in Epic recently?
Yeah,
And
like
they're
some
about to
like
work on
over a
another big
billion.
project. Yeah, so they're working on
Yeah.
a big project apparently. So, that's what I'm more interested in seeing. But this
What
whole
I'll
Fortnite
give
thing,
Fortnite its due is the business model of games. It seems like they do it better than anyone else. I will give them
Yes.
that. The business model of making a profitable, engaged, supported game, they do it better than anyone. And you gotta give them that. Maybe Riot with League of Legends might be second place, but yeah, they do it better than anyone.
shout outs to Uncle
know?
Shank in the chat. He says one thing people don't give Fortnite credit for is how well they keep bringing in new players of all ages, which is
Yeah.
absolutely true.
Here's a perspective I can offer you. In my esports organization, we have our CEO. He's like 36, 37 years old. He's my age. He plays on a competitive team with a 15-year-old, and he's really good. The 15-year-old's probably better than him. So it just shows you the range of access that this game has. What other game really can say they have such a wide range of a player base?
Yeah, I
So,
think that's what's keeping the game alive. To be honest, there's a
yeah.
lot of kids are still on the game. So even if the adults leave the game, there are new kids coming to the game like every day. The game's constantly fresh, and the fact that they have so many IPs behind them, Jesus, bro. Like,
And back on the
there's a
business model
character for
thing.
everybody in Fortnite.
Back on the business model thing, you know how we called out Call of Duty last week for their $80 King Kong fist?
Mm-hmm.
But
That was
Fortnite has
insane.
never been cheap like
Pause
that.
for a
They've
second.
never
Stop, Germ. Sorry. Drez,
Yeah.
did you see that?
No, I did
There's
not.
an $80 King Kong fist that you buy within the game. And it's apparent in Call of Duty.
Where? In Call of Duty. Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, whatever that new movie is, whatever that thing is that King Kong's wearing, it's in the game now.
$80.
$80, and it's
that.
like a super move or
Jesus.
some shit.
It
That's it.
It doesn't
So
even
it's
come
pay
with
to
the
win.
movie.
It's pay to win
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I think Jerm, you were just gonna talk about how like Fortnite never really like pushed.
Yeah, well, they
Microtransactions?
have cosmetic things you can buy, but it's never felt cheesy like that. At least
I 100% agree. That
Yeah,
I will
true.
applaud them for that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah,
why
and
I think it had so much success, because like it was never pay to win. It was, you get a shit ton of people in the game and you're gonna make money.
Yeah, I think the only game that's come out in recent memory that's kind of been on that same vein was Overwatch, the first one when it first started.
Before it
And
went to the battle pass, yeah.
yeah, and Helldivers has a chance to do that. It's still kind of it's off to a great start. If it keeps its momentum up, it'll
Helldivers
be
isn't free to play though. But then again, neither was Overwatch.
yeah, but it's
Mhm.
still it's less
Initially.
than most games. But so it'll be right, it's right there. It's right
Yeah.
there. If it keeps that momentum up, it'll be right there. So, um, I think those are the three models that have been successful, and if game companies stick to those three types, they can have successful, long-lived games. But we'll see where it goes.
I think more when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to game development, I think about like just the capital going into developing a game, right? We know a lot of these companies have the money, but I think about more like indie devs. Oh, yo, project, appreciate the follow. I think about more of the indie devs when they're creating a game, how they need funding. Um, where would they be getting that money from if not
I can answer
through?
that question right away.
Mhm,
A lot of game developers, their money comes from outside sponsorship, unless
mhm,
if it's directly made by PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. It
mhm,
comes from outside sponsorship from other companies like Old Spice, Razer, uh, uh, Red Bull, these technology companies,
mhm,
Apple, all these different companies. They invest directly into these studios and these developers, so they essentially have already got a big pile of cash that they
mhm,
use to make the game with. And then when they sell you the game, they sell you the game at an essential loss to themselves, and they try to at the $60-$70 price tag, and
mhm.
they have to sell an X number of units to kind of recoup their production costs. So they really don't make a lot of money from just games. They make the profit from the microtransactions. So
Mm.
that's the current model of games, and that is where it currently stands. So that's why you kind of see these predatory practices, because if it doesn't sell a ton of units, they have to make that up with the microtransactions.
Microtransactions. Okay, that makes
So,
sense.
so that's why we kind of see these practices as they are. And I hope that we can kind of find a balance. I know we've talked about it before in previous podcasts about my position on the retail cost of games, but I think, there's a balance that can be found, and we'll see where, the industry goes.
Right.
So,
Switching up topics a little bit. Darkest Dungeons 2 is now available for pre-order for PlayStation. I don't know anything about Darkest Dungeon. Does anybody have any kind of knowledge of that game? I just put it on here.
um,
Jerm put it on here just to bring
Yeah,
it up.
I put this on here because it's kind of the trend the other direction, where a lot of games go from PlayStation or console to PC, but this time there's actually a PC game that's coming to console.
The
So
console.
we haven't seen that in a while. So
Right.
I wanted to take a minute and kind of acknowledge that this is a game kind of going against the
You're right.
trend.
It's been a while
Um,
since you see anything like
so,
that.
yeah, that's what it stuck out to me. So I wanted to see, kind of a temperature check on that and how we feel about how a game is from PC is going to console. Do we like that? Do we feel it's a step backwards for the genre? Do we want to maybe see if because in my experience, a lot of games that are optimized for PC tend to not play too well on console on a controller. So,
Mhm.
for me, I'm always a little worried on games like these just for an optimization on play, But I'm willing to check the game out as a PlayStation gamer. I find this kind of cool that it's kind of going both ways like that. So, um, but it just brings more gamers to the table, and that's ultimately what I want to see in games because I want to see life brought into old games. So I'm down with this personally. So
Hmm.
Not
for
my
those who
style
don't,
of game.
yeah.
Now you saw the game.
It looks like a okay. It looks like the game is like a 2D game. It looks like a comic book almost.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you seen that? It really looks like pages straight out of a comic book, and it looks like the kind of game that I would
Put it up so the
see
rest of the
like
stream
on
can
a
see.
web browser almost.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Like
worried
a
that
flash
using your
game.
Yeah, like a flash game. It's not for me.
He almost
Looks
looks
like
like
a
a
flash
flash
game.
game. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a good assessment, Artless.
Can we get a price check?
How much is it?
According
Yeah.
to the game, it doesn't come out until July 15th. It's currently available for pre-order on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, which again, if you're playing on a PlayStation 4, come on, guys. And the price wise, there's no price listed on this posting, so we'd have to see what the pre-order is on the actual shop. But I bet you it's probably going to be somewhere around $30 to $40. I bet, probably. But,
Media's getting expensive.
yeah.
Shake, I'm not a graphics whore. I'd rather play Third Strike, which has obviously what we would call inferior graphics than this game.
Well, actually, no, I have an answer to that question, Heartless. It's apparently not going to be available. It's available on PlayStation for PlayStation Plus subscribers. So if you have PlayStation Plus, this game is now coming to that. So if you pay for PlayStation Plus Premium, the second tier,
Yeah.
this game is now going to be included. And the second tier, I'm pretty sure, is $120, I think. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
going to be. So if you get that, you get this game. So. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good, bro.
It
You're good. I love
definitely.
it.
Reaper says it looks like an edgy Telltale style game. It does. Sure, it definitely does look like that kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think because the graphics also aren't like it's got that comic book style and it's on PS4. Like
Mhm.
I think making that transition from PC over to console
Pretty-
shouldn't
it's
be
easy.
hard.
I
Yeah.
would say also just keep your expectations realistic because it is an older game, so you can't expect like modern day graphics of older game. But
You got
I
better
like hard
graphics than
games.
Cash's cam right now.
Yeah, I like
Bro,
hard games.
it's not my camera. Not my camera. Heartless,
It's
you
the
experienced
virtual
same
cam.
thing.
It's the virtual cam.
It's
It's
a
the
virtual cam situation. Yeah. I don't know what it
okay.
is.
It's like Cash. We're back on the like they said the VHS tape.
Yeah,
Yo,
they're clowning me in the chat right now. yeah,
I just thought it was cool to point out the fact that PC and consoles this is starting to happen more. Where
I'm trying to see
games
the
are starting
gameplay.
to
Like,
come
is
over
there
into-
any kind of action in here, or is it all like story driven? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It looks kind of like Slay the Spire meets.
Looks like it's turn-based combat turn order.
It almost looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a turn-based RPG / Slay the Spire kind of situation, which I personally like these kind of games. So it's got my interest. I love games where I can, pause it and come back to it and not, lose the game. I personally like that. Just
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not my cup of tea. I need some kind of action.
But I have a feeling this is probably like someone like Solo, like a streamer like a Solo in our community.
Oh, Solo
This is
definitely
probably-
would play
this-
this shit.
this is probably
I
something that he
can
would like.
almost guarantee
Yeah.
that Solo would be interested in playing this game. Shout out to
Yeah.
Solo. He's also in the chat
Shout
right
out to
now.
Solo. He's a great dude. If you guys shoot him a shout out and support his channel. If you guys don't, you'll have a good time. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was a very interesting trend, and I personally would like to see that trend continue. Where games go.
Reaper said this game seems like a
PC to
good
PC.
Stream Deck kind of
Yeah.
deal. I
Yeah.
Steam Deck kind of deal. Sorry, I
see?
agree.
Reaper gets it. These are the kind of games you want on your handhelds. He gets it.
Hmm. But yeah, Darkest Dungeon. It's a very I guess you could say that's a super niche game. That's not something I think would like a general gamer base would gravitate to unless you're like an OG PC player that knows
Well,
the game.
if you're, like Reaper said, if you're a person that likes to take your games on the go, this is
Mhm.
a game for you, for
Right.
sure.
One of the biggest discussions about this week, well, it's been an ongoing discussion, but nothing was really confirmed, was the fact that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is possibly underperforming.
I know why.
What are your thoughts about that?
I'll
go with
go last
Yeah,
since
Charles,
I love
know
this
why. What are
your
series
thoughts
and I
on
love
it?
this game, so I'll go last.
Charles, what are your thoughts?
So I'm not a big Final Fantasy person.
Hey yo.
Gas.
Sorry.
I'm not either, Trez. You're not alone. Don't worry.
I don't like turn-based games. I don't like JRPGs. So right there. But I will say that as someone looking from the outside, I have heard nothing about this game when I heard a ton of shit about the first Final Fantasy VII remake, like part 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I believe it's probably underperforming, but I'm not really the right person to ask here. I can just tell you that I have not seen like any hype around it.
May I ask, do you know the Final Fantasy VII story or Final Fantasy series 7 specifically at all? It's kind of one of those.
Yeah,
legendary-
I know Cloud and Tifa and like the characters. Do I know the story? Not necessarily. So
Yeah, no one does.
Nah, I didn't either. I'm gonna be honest. I recently learned that, bro. I recently learned all
Yeah.
that. 'Cause
I think it's underperforming for 2 reasons.
what?
First reason is what Shank said. It's locked behind PlayStation, so I can't buy it. And the second reason I think is that this game has so much hype around it. The expectations are so high. They obviously dumped a lot of money into the game, so they must sell a tremendous amount of units to recoup their loss.
Right.
So anything under, once again, record breaking is a dud. This is where we're at in gaming. If your game does not break records, it's a dud. Because
especially if they
everybody
put
is
so much
trying to
money
be
in it.
so competitive
Mhm.
in having the best game ever that they're putting so much money in the games.
Yep. That's what happened to Spider-Man. Look at Spider-Man. They
Yeah.
recently broke even. Very recently broke even. Spider-Man 2.
So in the case of Final Fantasy VII, such a legendary story in gaming history, I will say that this game, not Final Fantasy as a series, but this game, this story specifically, carries. This game has such a following. This is literally the One Piece of video games. Like it'll never ever die. And the series itself has the game. They put a lot of effort into this game. You can tell with the cutscenes. They added so many more mini games. So to put it in perspective a little bit for anyone who hasn't played the game, the very original that came out on the PlayStation, you have disc 1, which is probably about the first bunch of hours of the game, like first couple chapters. So remake includes basically that. That's that section. That's about 25. You can stretch out to probably 40 hours if you want to of gameplay. So they took that little part that took you probably about 2 hours to do in the original game, and they expanded on it 40 times. And and then with Rebirth here, they have taken that, the next chapter of the game, like essentially disc 2 of the original, and they have added another 100+ hours on top of that. So so they went all or nothing on this. And according to this report that we have here by what's the source here, VGC, the game has sold about 3.5 million copies in its first 3 days. So that sounds impressive, right?
And it's still
apparently
wait a minute. It's still underperformed?
Power is shaking in his boots.
Well, according to Remake, they said they sold 7 million copies in the first 3 days of release. So compared to the remake, this one has made only 3, and about half. So that is the reports are saying that's a bit of an underwhelming trend, and that's a concerning trend. And I don't know what the production value of this game was, but I have a feeling that's not enough.
They're also, what I'm seeing here is the PS, because Final Fantasy VII Remake came out for what, PS4, right? Era. So, and they had an install base of over 100 million units. Rebirth PS5 only has an install base of 50 million units. So you have only half the player base of people that can buy it, and it's not out on Xbox.
Yeah, and that does hurt the game. Heartless
So,
was 100%
yeah,
right.
so right
But there's
there,
enough PlayStations out there to make up the difference, if you ask me. But
there is, but you know, when you think about all the people who are Xbox players,
I disagree.
who can't play, and when you, if you cut in half the amount of people who had a PS4, like who just don't have access to the game, that the sales are definitely going to take a hit. I guarantee you, if this came out for Xbox, you would see a jump in sales.
Yes.
Do we think that this is kind of the nail in coffin for console exclusives?
console,
Also,
yes.
when it comes out on PC as well. When it comes out on PC
Because
as well.
I feel this is a direction. This points in that direction where there's no
Yes.
value in contract exclusive anymore.
Yes, they're building
really
games
is.
so expensive and they can't even sell it to every consumer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's also why PlayStation is putting all their games on PC now because they're selling like crazy. Like
Mhm.
once Spider-Man 2 hits PC, because it's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
Cash, you just said it just broke even. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna push it over the top.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It is. It will.
And I also feel there's a little bit of fatigue here where while granted, there's 4 people in this room right now. I know of this series because I played it originally and I love it. I love everything about it. It's one of those games where I'll always come back to and I'll play it. I mean the original. I have it on my Switch actually, and I do play it from time to time. And it's one of those here that I'll always come back to. But I feel like there's enough time has passed between the original and this that it doesn't carry the same weight it would have if this would have came out with this quality say 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it feels like the world has moved on. So I don't know if this was the move by Sony to bring this back to life, but what I do appreciate is that whoever it is that developed this game, they're getting a chance to realize their original vision for that they couldn't do due to technical limitations way back when. So I do appreciate that, and it saddens my heart that it's underperforming. At least that's what its reports are indicating. But I hope that due to support, and plus also something to note here, guys, is this is not the full story yet. There's supposedly going to be it's confirmed that there's going to be another one after this that's going to finish the original story. So that might breathe life into this again down the road. So
no, Trez, you go. Trez, I hear you.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, who was that? Was that Cash?
No. Nothing. I think you heard something else. But anyways, yeah.
So wait, hold on. Reaper said something very interesting. He said he heard multiple people waiting to buy the entire game together as a bundle, and
As
that is a
in-
very interesting point.
Yeah.
that's very possible too.
The whole you're talking.
I'm not one of those
the entire
consumers.
Final
I want
Fantasy
it now.
VII. I'm assuming.
Entire Final Fantasy VII.
See-
The OG game came out for one price, 4 discs. The new game comes out was going to be three separate $70 purchases.
How much was this one? How many discs was this one?
This
Rebirth?
one, I got the more premium one that had like some extra stuff for $99.
Oh my
How many?
god!
How many? Wait, what? Wait, whoa. How many discs?
I got the download version. I didn't get this.
Oh, okay.
I got the digital. But
I
yeah,
wanna
it
know
was
how many
99.
discs.
It came with an art book. It came with like a music track. It came with a bunch of stuff that I'm going
You're
to
a
use.
fan.
Did it come with Yuffie's panties? What is going on with the price of these games?
Dude, Yuffie's only 17 years old. Quiet down with that. She's quiet down with that talk. She's only 17.
But bro, like these games. Are
Let's
getting, like,
let's not go any
outlandish.
farther with that or we'll get flagged.
Bro, that's getting no, but like, let's be real. That's expensive.
Yeah, well, it is, but having played the game and I'm enjoying I'm enjoying it. It's worth it for me as a consumer. I am okay with this because I'm really, really enjoying it. But
I very rarely purchase a game on release anymore, just because I know 2-3 months from now it's gonna be on sale.
Facts.
But like I get it. Like if I'm like a diehard fan of a certain game, so like Mortal Kombat, like that is a game I'll buy upon release. But it's
May I
like there's only a handful of them that I'll still buy
may I ask you,
on
Trey,
He's like me.
on
may I
release.
ask you,
You're
Trey,
like me.
You're an early release guy, right? So you did pay the premium one, I assume, like
For Mortal Kombat?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that was like what, $110, $120?
I think it was 100.
Yeah. So, if you're a fan of a series, you're more than willing to pay a higher price. But the average consumer, like say Heartless or Cash or someone like that, it's a hard ask. And
Yeah,
I think that's where the
definitely.
game is right now, you know?
Right.
But Street Fighter is a game that I didn't want to fall behind in competitively, so I felt enticed to buy day one. And I'm sure he feels the same way
same
about
with
Mortal
MK.
Kombat. I'm sure Trez feels the same way
Yeah,
about
definitely.
Mortal Kombat.
And that makes sense because if it like shooters, I feel like you don't have to fall behind on like a shooter competitively, right? It's most shooters kind of have the same dynamics. But yeah, in terms of like fighting games, I think if you want to get the head start, that is like the exception probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I hope that the game makes its money on the back end. This is such a great story, and anyone who has not experienced this story, I urge you to check it out. The story will tug at your heartstrings. It's just got a lot going for it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's got a lot going for it. You know, think about that feeling you had when you played Last of Us. This game will go harder than that. You know,
Okay.
so trust me. I just ask that you trust me on that. Give it a chance if you can, if it goes on sale.
All right. But yeah, moving on. Bandai Namco threatens Tekken 8 modders. Um, I don't know why that is an issue. I'm assuming it's similar to this whole Street Fighter thing. Is that what
So I
I'm
can provide some context with this.
sure?
So Tekken 8, there's a prominent website that dishes out Tekken mods. It's been doing this since probably like Tekken Tag or earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Called TekkenMods.com. Tekken Namco specifically, they sent this website a cease and desist specifically for a mod where it turns Reina into her demon form because that's currently not in the game. So, uh, this has set a precedent. And it's stirring up the news because Namco's track record of always allowing mods and different things like that, and now it feels hypocritical on their part because they're starting to come down on it. And
You think that's because of what they offer currently, like the fact that you can fully like customize your character within
well,
Tekken itself?
that's what this article hints at. The CEO of the company of the website I just mentioned, his name is Dennis Stanston. Stanistan. Uh, he said on Twitter that it feels very. He used the word. It feels very. Hold on here. I just gotta find the right word.
You're not saying hypocritical, right?
Yeah, he said that word. He said it sounds very hypocritical on Namco's part because Namco has allowed mods in their games since as far back as Soul Calibur 3. So,
Mm.
and they feel like they're doing this because they plan on releasing content on their battle pass that Tekken just released. So they're probably what this mod was probably something they're gonna ask you to pay for later. So
Mm.
it feels like they're bringing that's what the guy says, and it feels like they're bringing the hammer down on that. So, and I'm with this guy. Namco specifically has always allowed this, like people to mod their games up
Mhm.
until now. Now that they have a battle pass in their game, so it feels very like you have already established with your player base that this is okay, and now you're going to take that away. It's
Right.
like, you know, it's like dumping the Legos on the floor and then telling them like they can't use the red ones. It's like whatever. You're like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get it.
I had an issue with
So
Namco back like in my early content creation days, and I've never messed with any of their games ever.
yeah. And as a Soul Calibur fan, they let my favorite series die. So I'm really salty
They
against them.
they sent me a
So
cease and desist when I made it wasn't even like it was just a minute. I was talking about not Little Big Planet. What's it called Little Nightmares. That's more Bandai's thing, right?
yeah,
But I
see
was
Reaper here.
yeah, but it's the same company. That's how I look at it. But I talked about Little Nightmares because I guess the game was going on sale. So I had a video that I was talking about all the games that were going on sale for that week, and I got a cease and desist from those guys to not thing. And I'm like, but it's not like I'm not. It's not counterfeit. It's just I'm talking about the game. It's commentary at that point. I'm letting people know that the game's available. They sent me. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll never talk about any of your games ever again. That's just me.
Question, Trev. Have you messed around with Tekken 8 at all, or any Tekken recently?
I have not recently at least. But I'm aware of the story. I th- I think it makes sense. Like if they're gonna release an outfit or something in DLC or in a battle pass or whatever, and someone is kind of releasing that through a mod, I think that makes sense for them to come down on it.
Yeah.
But then again, like Mortal Kombat has mods of like past old skins or whatever, and then NetherRealm will release it, and they're not going after modders. So I'm kind of like caught in between, where
Well,
like I
I
understand, but at the same time, I don't know.
I feel there could have been a more tactful way to handle this situation because these developers have the power. Or if there's a mod in the game, they do a patch, those mods are gone.
Right.
So if they were trying to sell that, all they had to do was patch the game, and then you would have had to buy whatever it was that mod was anyway. They
Well,
have the power to do that, you
if
know.
you can
So
mod it though, you could put. I don't think a patch is gonna
and
prevent
to
you.
be
Yeah,
honest,
all they
like,
need to do is
cheat.
adjust
and
the
Heartless
Yeah.
and Heartless said it earlier. These people that play games are smart, so they're gonna mod the game anyway. You're not
Exactly.
stopping nothing. So you
Right.
know, so
You're not really
As
um,
long as
preventing
they don't mod
anything.
moves into the game. As long as they don't mod moves into the game, I don't care.
yeah, that's about what I was about to say. Like as you know, as again esports organization, modding's not allowed on our team. We just can't allow it for these very reasons. Cease
I
and
w-
desist. And it sucks that we have to do it. You know.
I'll say this: if I ever hopped into a Street Fighter 6 match and Zangief pulled out a move that I know is not in the game, the competitive integrity of Street Fighter would change for me.
Yeah.
I have an answer to that, Heartless. If that was to happen, you could. There's actually a way to report matches
can
like
report it,
that,
yeah.
and you get your
Money?
points back. Or if it happened in
Money?
a competitive scene, especially a tournament, there's big issues there. You're protected. You're protected in that sense. So
Okay.
So I think before we switch topics, I think that Bandai Namco is probably, if they go down this road and like this fight, I think it's going to be not worth it for them to like, for like the backlash that they're going to
People are gonna do it
experience
just to
from
do
like
it at
PC
that point.
players, rather than like the buck that they're gonna save, you know? So like, so I think they probably should just leave it alone. But like, I understand why they're doing it. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be worth it for them to continue down this road.
and the FGC is gonna mod the game. This has
So-
been existing since Street Fighter 4. So it's just
Well-
you accept it. You know. So.
Right.
So what Reaper is saying is that they told this website, Tekken Mods, to remove Tekken's logo from their website because it makes Tekken Mods look like it's endorsed by Tekken when it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
And that makes sense. If you built a product worth millions and millions of dollars and you found some low budget company taking your logos and making it appear as if they are working officially with you, if something were to go wrong with that company, it makes you look liable, it makes you look bad, it makes you look like you are not caring for your consumers.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
they
makes sense.
also said they targeted a mod that allows players to control Reina in her devil form. The form, while present in the game, cannot be used in its vanilla state. So I have a feeling this Reina character is probably going to be a new character. Devil Reina is probably going to be a
new
new
character.
character slot at some point, like Devil Jin is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. They seems like they probably have plans for that content.
Yeah.
So
That might be
Yeah.
the reason why they
yeah.
did
And that actually makes a lot of sense because if you plan on reaching a whole new DLC character called Devil Reina, and then you have regular Reina with a skin of Devil Reina, that could be in a lot of trouble in the competitive scene because you don't know what what Reina you're going to be going against.
It all
That
depends
could be a
because it's
problem. So
apparent.
yeah,
I don't
I
think the
can see where
character's
they're
gonna
coming
look the
from
same.
there.
Well, if it's a skin mod,
Yeah.
competitively, if the person doesn't have it downloaded, they're not going to be able to see it.
Yeah.
That's true. Capcom is pretty smart with that. If a player has a mod, this only works with console. It doesn't work with PC. PC's fine. But if you were playing ranked and a person has a mod on, it's just gonna show you whatever skin. They
Yeah,
have
the
attached.
default skin. That's what Mortal Kombat does too.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's gonna so
Street
it's
Fighter does the
filtered
same
out
thing.
in that
Street
sense.
Fighter does the same thing.
Yeah. So I don't know if Namco does that. I doubt they do because they have the customization, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't play enough Tekken to know. So,
Yeah.
it's an
Switching up
interesting. I
topics.
just think it's hypocritical of,
Mhm.
of Namco to now come hard on it when they have never been hard before. But hey,
Right. But yeah, switching topics, and this is more of our guest field of expertise. Um, it's more about talking mainly about Ermac joining MK1, but we're gonna get into a bunch of other shit because I know Trez has some stuff that he got to get off his chest about MK. But yeah, Ermac joins Mortal Kombat. Trez, what do you think about the character?
Can you
I'll
roll
try-
the Ermac trailer, Cash?
Yeah, I'm putting it up. I'm putting it up.
I'll try
Let's-
not to run off into a rant here. So Ermac joined Mortal Kombat last week. I am a huge Ermac fan. I think he's great. I love his moves. I think that the game's state currently is getting better than it was on release. The more with every season, the game gets a little bit better. Invasions mode gets a little bit better. It's still not great though. But I've been having a blast playing with Ermac. I'm like halfway through mastery on him. I think I have like level 10 with him, and level 20 is mastery for DLC characters. I completely mastered Quan Chi, which was the last DLC. But Ermac's awesome.
Did you like Peacemaker?
I really dislike all of the guest characters, and I normally don't play as them. I will take them, and then I'll do like finish the ladder so I can get their like ending, but then I just leave them alone because I just like I
So
don't
how
think they need to be in the game.
How do you feel as guest characters as a whole? Mortal Kombat's kind of become known in the last few games.
I know, I hate it.
game.
I don't hate guest characters as a whole. Because I know it's to attract the more casual player, right?
Right.
People who like aren't normally playing Mortal Kombat, but they see that they can be Omni-Man or Homelander. Like it might get them to buy the game and to main that character. So I understand why they do it.
You
Right.
think they're trying to do the Fortnite thing, but it's so far it feels like it hasn't worked. You know?
No, I think they're just doing it because these characters are popular, and you're gonna get someone who might not be necessarily be a fan of Mortal Kombat to buy the game. Personally though, I would rather have 3 other Mortal Kombat characters rather than 3 guest characters. So
Well, what about new characters? It'd be kind of nice to get some fresh blood, in my opinion, in the MK universe, because it's been a while since we've seen some new faces. I know, was it Devora was like probably the biggest new face one that popped off the most.
this is the first Mortal Kombat game that doesn't have any new characters in it
Yeah.
since MK9, and you could even argue that Scarlet was a new character because she was a
Yeah.
rumored character in 9.
You
Last
could
game-
see Tanya's almost a new character too. She's so different than what she was in any previous iteration, but
There's a lot of characters that are different, and that's one thing I really dislike about this game. Like I'm a Mortal Kombat lore person. I have Mortal Kombat lore channel. I love the lore. I've been like playing since 92 or 93 when like the game came out. I was like 5 years old at the time. But I've just been a huge Mortal Kombat fan since then. And
how do you,
Go ahead.
I personally am a Ermac guy as well. I share your testament. He's always been my go-to if he's available on the roster. So I'm excited that he's back, to be honest. Because I didn't really like the roster because he wasn't there. There was no one that in the roster for me that in the game that says play me. There's no one on that roster currently until now. So I'm excited to give him a try.
Is he still King Jared?
He is and he isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jared will come out in certain like character interactions, but I think they've kind of brought him back to like the collection of souls and like the actual Ermac character that he is.
Yeah, when he got revealed initially, that was my biggest fear, that he was going to be like the story Ermac, because the story Ermac was whack. I'm sorry, so stupid.
The story in general, for me in this game was just a really big disappointment. Yeah, Movado is going to be the next cameo character.
Oh,
so
shit,
he's coming
let's
out later in
go.
the month.
Yeah, he's got the Spider-Man attack.
I loved him in Deadly Alliance, bro. I don't know why I like that character, but I did like him in Deadly Alliance.
Movado is a very underrated character. I thought he was great in Deadly Alliance.
Yeah.
A little bit of a lore dump. In the previous universe, he got like killed by Cassie Cage or something like that. You're a lore guy, right?
In the comics, yeah. Movado, there he is. originally killed Cabal, took
Yeah,
his
he
hook
did.
swords. Then they retconned it the next game, had Cabal kill him.
Yeah.
And the
And
Cabal like wasn't dead, and
and
then
I'm
yeah,
right
they
on
killed him
that.
off.
Cassie Cage killed him or whatever, right? Like shot him in the face or something like that, right?
Cassie took his so Movado like captured Cassie and Jackie, and then I forget what had happened, but like he got distracted. Jackie held him. Cassie took his hook sword and just like sliced him open, like
Did a
his guts
fatality
spilled
on
out
him.
and everything. Yeah, in the Mortal Kombat comics.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's interesting to see how he's back. He must be an alternate universe one, but I don't know. But
This is an
So
alternate
the way
universe.
they're handling that, if we want to get into this,
Alright.
all the cameo
Please.
characters are like
Mhm.
the original characters. So any cameo character you pick has like their OG skin from the first game that they appeared in.
Mhm.
And because the game's storyline, they take characters from like different timelines, so like different universes basically,
Mhm.
and throw them in the game. That's like their explanation for how these characters are there.
Oh, okay.
So this is
so
like
at the end, when
Deadly
there's like
Alliance
this
Movado.
crowd of everyone, you're like climbing up that thing,
Yep.
that tower, and you're fighting all those different versions. The cameos are those, right? They're like those people. Is that how? That's how the lore plays out lore wise, right?
What that is it's all different, just different timelines of different characters, and then they start falling into like mashups of characters, which I personally don't like. Like there's like I forget their names even. I think
Oh,
Crocodile is one, which is like Garrus and Reptile like mashed together.
What?
Yeah, so they have like a bunch of mashed up characters at the end of the story in Mortal Kombat 1
Mhm.
to I guess show that like there's different universes or different timelines where these different characters
That does
live.
feel like injustice. Why does that? It definitely feels
Yeah.
like
It's
injustice.
just really lazy writing.
yeah. For me, I hate multiversal stories. We've said it before.
We're
I'm
over it.
over it.
Like
I'm
It-
over it.
It
I'm
feels
over
like a
it.
blank check to just write whatever the fuck you want in any situation. And I don't like it.
exactly.
In any
That's why I don't
medium.
like it.
I'm sick of it in any medium at this point.
Agreed.
Any medium.
100%.
That's just annoying. It's a cop out. It's a cop out.
That's crazy. We've really taken one of my favorite concepts in media and turned it into something that most people are
Remember
sick of.
before it used to be time travel? Time travel was in every story, and now
Mhm.
it's multiversal.
But
The
now they're
multiversal
kinda
is
blending
Well,
it,
because
something
they're
though.
trying to one
They're the
up
same thing. They're the same
Yeah.
thing though.
Yeah.
else.
They're kind of blending it now. Multiverse is now a
One of the-
timeline. It's a
one of
timeline.
the
It's
most-
time travel into some respect. That's how they're trying to,
well,
especially Marvel.
It depends on what kind of time travel you have. But if you have the kind of time travel in which every time you travel in time you land in a new timeline, then that is a multiverse.
Yep.
So
We got a question here in the chat for Trez. Solo is asking, do you think the mashed together characters is a hint towards a creative character system in the next game, kind of like MK Armageddon?
God, I hope not.
That was
I
pretty
just
broken. I remember because you used to be able to customize moves, right? So people
You
were
could.
making like these
Mhm.
really broken characters. I remember.
Yeah, and I just like I really despise Armageddon. I think
You
we
told
were
me that
talking about this a little
before.
bit before
Yeah.
the show that like the people who are playing Mortal Kombat now are people who grew up in the 3D era. That's like the majority of their fan base. So they look back at Armageddon with this nostalgia that it was like this great game, but it's not. And at the time it wasn't either. But they were so young at the time that they couldn't tell that like this was a crap game that they were playing. Like they didn't have fatalities. It was all like creative fatality. There were no like endings. Like every time you'd beat the tower mode, there was no like unique screens or cinematics that would play. Every character had their moves, or what did we have? 3 different fighting styles back in like the 3D era.
Yeah, the
Because
variant system. Yeah.
because there was so many characters, they had to knock that down to 2 because they couldn't like think of like more fighting styles, create more fighting styles for all the characters. There's just like I could go on and on about how terrible Mortal Kombat Armageddon is, but everyone who plays Mortal Kombat now is like of this age where they forget and the nostalgia factor, and they're like, oh yeah, Armageddon was fantastic, but it just really wasn't. So
Uh,
yeah, That's my
Heartless,
long-winded
have you
rant
played
of
MK1 at
why.
all, Heartless? Have you played it at all or at all yet?
I haven't played it for sure. I haven't gotten the game. At one point, I was interested when I first saw like the cameo characters, like 'cause I love tag fighters, right? So Marvel vs. Capcom was my bread and butter fighting game back in the day. So when I saw that, and I was like, "Oh shit, Mortal Kombat is doing this now." Because didn't Mortal Kombat do this before? They did it in Trilogy, right? Remember that when you could
There's,
like switch out characters in Trilogy?
I'm
They
pretty
had like
Yeah,
this
sure.
tag
there was
mechanic.
6-on-6 combat in
Yes.
Trilogy.
So
Yeah.
when I
Correct me
saw
if
that, I was like, "Oh shit!"
correct
My
me if
mind
I'm
went
wrong,
crazy.
Fez.
But the
I'm
more I
pretty
saw the
sure in
gameplay,
MK,
say again,
I'm
Jeremy.
pretty sure in MK9,
Mhm.
where you have Cyrax and Sector before they're robots, you were able to swap between them, right? I'm pretty
But that's
sure.
a
No, but
that,
it had a tag mode. It had
Yeah, something like
2v2.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 had a tag mode and Trilogy had a tag mode.
Yeah, but Trilogy it was what stood out to me the most. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, this looks cool." And it's like
Yeah.
the main like mechanic of the game. But the more I saw it, it's like the more my hype died for MK1. I still haven't gotten the game yet.
The cameos are great. I think a lot of people
Mhm.
dislike them, but I enjoy them.
I feel like it's Mortal Kombat.
Good
Fate,
way to
a lot of them
extend combo. They're like combo extenders
combo
basically.
extenders, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your current team? What's your current what do you take on ranked right now?
Johnny and Sonya I go with.
The Lovebirds.
Yeah, and then I've been
Jonya.
going Quan Chi and Serena.
Mhm.
Go
So
ahead.
question about the overall state of the game. It seems like MK has been kind of heavy-handed with its patches, in my opinion.
Mm.
How do you feel like they've supported the game so far in NRS?
A good question.
They're listening. Like they're fixing certain things, especially Invasions mode was not good at launch and they're trying to add more things to make it better, but I don't think it's fixable. So
Mm.
I
but
was
like
always a
I
Crypt guy.
appreciate that they're doing that. They
Mhm.
also brought down the price of retro skins. Like it
Okay.
used to be like $10 in
Yeah,
in
$10 or $15,
whatever their
right?
currency is, crystals or whatever.
Mhm.
And now it's 5. So it's like, all right, they cut it in half. Like that's reasonable, I guess. Still
Right.
think you should be able to unlock at least some nostalgic skins in the game rather than like, I get it if you're not going to give us all of it, but like give us a few,
Right.
So I think they're listening, but I still think it's still in like WB's greedy hands and yeah, they're just like they're
It
not
feels like
gonna
a
give us what we
marketing.
want exactly.
Which
Feels
is
like a
also what
WB
kills
marketing
Suicide Squad kills
executive.
Justice League. But
Yeah.
anyways, keep going.
Yeah.
It feels like a WB marketing executive is making these choices and not NRS
It's
Definitely.
themselves.
definitely not Ed Boon. Like I feel
Yeah.
like if it were up to Ed Boon, he would not be making these decisions. And people blame him all the time. Like the MK community is so freaking toxic.
Yeah.
And they blame him like
and
all the time.
It's a shame. Ed Boon used to be this pillar of the FGC community, always on Twitter, and he's been really quiet. You
Yeah.
know,
But
so
because he tweets and it's like he gets a million like people tweeting back at him like cursing him out because Jade's not in the game. Like like
Right.
so yeah, it kind of sucks.
It
Yeah.
does suck. That definitely does suck.
So another question I have is, where do you think the game? You already said how you feel about the current state of the game. Where do you feel the game can go?
I
Where,
think well, I think it can get better if they continue to listen. I would love to see them try to like take a different stab at invasions mode, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think for the multiplayer, I don't understand why there's just one mode. Well, there's two, I guess. King of the Hill and just like PvP. But
Mhm.
like why is there no like random select mode? Like
Mhm.
I feel like that would be great, where you just like ranked random select, just randomly pick your character and you fight against someone. Like more like variety in multiplayer modes, I think would be great. Like an online tag mode we were talking about before. Just like give us that variety. And then in terms of not multiplayer, like I just hate this story and where it went. And I've said this before that and because they're catering to the younger audience, but every character in this new Mortal Kombat looks like they belong on the CW.
That's
my
like-
God.
And
I never thought of it like that.
it's
That's wild.
so bad. Like they all look like teenage heartthrobs. And, like, why does Reptile look
Oh my God.
like he's like 15 years old? And have
why
a
has he got
face
thirst
tattoo?
traps? Why has he got
Yeah.
thirst traps?
It's just
That
so
is
bad.
that is the best take of this whole
It
show.
sucks because like I'm older now, and I just feel like this is the direction that Mortal Kombat's going in, and is catering to this younger
audience, yeah.
crowd. So like, I get it. I understand why they're doing it, but I just like, as someone who loves Mortal Kombat, I fucking hate it.
Right.
So yeah, everyone just looks so pretty, and then they like have to clothe everyone from like head to toe. I don't know.
Mm.
So don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying that like everyone needs to be half naked. Like that's
Right.
not what I'm saying at all. But if you're gonna release a nostalgic skin,
Right.
like make
Make
it look
it.
like it did in the past. Like
Right.
don't like try to give me this like new kind of like modernized take on it.
In the
So-
terms of sex appeal, like there's a way to do, sexy appealing. Like the Stellar Blade girl. She's sexy as hell, but it's tasteful. It's not,
Yeah.
so
Some
there's ways
some
to
would
do
disagree,
it,
but
Oh.
continue.
Speaking of unsexifying,
Unsexifying.
I
Wow.
can't believe I
Oh,
said
wow.
that. Cash, do you mind
Yeah.
pulling up on the screen for people to see what they did to Pokemon Go?
What did they do to Pokemon?
If there's one
Go?
character that
You don't
say
see-
I didn't see
that
it.
knocked out of the park with like making your character sexy but also de-sexifying her at the same time would be Chun-Li and Street Fighter
Cammy.
6.
And
She has
Cammy.
never looked sexier in her entire life.
Chun-Li
That's
and
all.
Cammy,
Yo,
bro.
I
Chun-Li and
applaud.
Cammy.
Yeah, Street Fighter, like I applaud them. Even Tekken, like they don't care. And like it's not supposed to be real life. Like fucking go for it. You know?
Even a
Right.
monster woman like Marisa. Yeah, I know this is going to be the hottest take of the show. She's hot, okay? Even though she's a monster woman, So
I haven't seen the mod, Heartless. Can you send me that link?
So I'm gonna send the link so everybody can see. But essentially in Pokemon Go, they updated the avatars.
Oh, boy.
And they essentially made
This is-
like
I
the
click on this, it's going to
females-
be fairly PG-13, right, Heartless?
Oh, it is PG-13 for sure. They took all the curves out of the female characters and they made them look like guys.
You're
Okay.
lying.
Oh, I'm not
Like an
lying.
ironing board back there.
I'm
not lying.
gonna need one of our mods to
they-
go and respond to Shank's message right here.
I'm
Just-
I'm trying to find an image that has a side by side
Comparison?
comparison. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find, so I don't waste your time with the video or something. Updates, avatar.
Are you serious? I see people
Oh,
talking about it.
here we go. Here we go. Go copy link. I'm gonna put this right here
Send it. You put it in the
And-
chat.
and put it right in the chat,
Thank you.
and then go click on this.
Now everyone can see it.
All right, I'll
Now
wait till
everyone can
Cash
see it.
picks up. I'll
Everyone
wait for
can see
Cash
it, but
to pick it up.
I'm thinking it do.
Yeah.
This
This
is
is- this is-
wild. This is
this is-
wild. Oh
this is
my
what they did to
God, this
Pokemon
is
Go.
Wild. This is wild. This is insanely wild. Hold up. Let me show you.
Everything's got that Fortnite level of curves these days.
It's like a box with legs.
Yeah, that's a Fortnite character right there. What the hell?
Oh my goodness, bro. 'Kay.
So this is the direction we don't want to go. So yeah, let's stand our ground as gamers, as consumers, because this is
This is-
ridiculous.
The
This is
issue
something.
though is then like, and this is exactly what's happening in the Mortal Kombat community, is the moment that someone voices their opinion of like, hey, this doesn't look like the skin that came out in
you're
2003.
something.
Then like you get a million freaking Zoomers who just like attack you and call you a pervert, and they're
Right.
just like, you just want to see half naked video game characters,
And
it's
that's
like,
what I'm like.
You
It's
know,
a
and
video game, guys.
Here's an
Right.
interesting. There was a while ago where I came into a lady. She was streaming. She was streaming Mortal Kombat that day, but she normally streams Tekken. And I came into her stream, and I was just like talking with her a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, this game's great. Like, what do you think of the character looks?" And they were just like, "Oh," and I was like, and then the topic of Soul Calibur came up, and I was like, Soul Calibur has probably been the opposite of that. They've over sexualized their characters, and it's been not done tastefully. And then all of a sudden, a woman came in the chat. Someone I had never seen her before. She said, a woman, keep in mind, a woman
Misogynist.
gamer. She came in and she said, I want my girls in my games to look hot. I don't
Oh,
want to be
wow.
playing some ugly ass bitches. I want girls in games to also look hot. And I was
Make
like,
everyone
that,
hot. Like,
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
made me,
Why
that,
not?
that,
What's the
that
problem?
made me think of my take of where I was like, okay, like, it's,
But bro,
it's, yeah, it's
but
like,
guys, not to shade anyone though. The men
it's
are
like,
sexy, bro. Like,
yeah,
pardon
like,
the lingo, but no Diddy. The men are
there's a way,
sexy,
there's
bro.
always a way to do it tastefully.
So
in
why
a
can't
way
the
that
women be
shows
sexy
respect,
too? Is what I'm
you know?
saying.
Yeah.
They can be.
Like,
Yeah.
ladies got
all
it.
I don't know.
coexist in
There's crap all
sexiness.
the way. So,
So in
so
conclusion, I don't like the direction that Mortal Kombat is going in. Is basically what I'm saying.
Right.
So final question I have for you, Tez, is what's your favorite Mortal Kombat game that you've played? What's your go-to? What's your goat of
He's
Mortal
gonna say
Kombat?
2. He's gonna
Let's
say
say
2.
7.
It's
It's
no,
2.
probably Deception.
Deception.
Deception had no business being as good as it was because when you look at the roster is actually really bad. Like it's like there's a ton of new characters that was the only game that they were in. Or if you count Armageddon. But they had this conquest mode, which was like a whole other mode that taught you how to like play the game and how to train with like each character and learn all the combos, and it had a great story. And yeah, I'd say that's probably the best one. But if we're talking NetherRealm era, I'm gonna go. I really like MK11. A lot of people didn't like it, but I think X story wise is my favorite.
Yeah, for me, gameplay wise, Mortal Kombat 10 is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 10 is the GOAT
I like
for
10
me.
too. I
It's
like
the
10. I
variation
like 10 a
system.
lot. It was faster. For me, it felt like a faster fighting game.
For me, it's the variation system. Like so many possibilities. I loved it.
Yeah, the variation system was good. And the story was like great. They had this like other what was it? Like Outworld Civil War story that they didn't lean into. And then they ended with Dark Raiden, which is what Mortal Kombat 11 should have been.
Yeah,
But
great
instead they went with
cliffhanger.
the time
Yeah.
travel bullshit.
Right.
So since you like Conquest mode, if somebody in this either community or somewhere on this stage, if we were to gift you Street Fighter 6 because it's on sale right now, would you stream World Tour? I think you'd like it.
Oh yeah, I definitely would.
Alright,
World Tour
well,
feels
let's
like an
get on-
RPG
let's
with
get-
Street Fighter.
Yeah, let's get on that community. Let's gift our boy here Street Fighter and get him addicted.
Yo, this is coming from somebody who loves Street Fighter. I think they could have did a lot better job with World Tour.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
it's not
I'm sorry.
for
I'm
us.
sorry. I lied. They could have did a lot better job with the Battle Hub. My bad.
Battle Hub, yeah.
It's not for us though. World Tour isn't marketed towards us, Harless. I think Trez would enjoy it. I do. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You definitely would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eventually I'll get Street Fighter 6, but
Once
I'm in no
Akuma-
rush. I have a giant backlog of games I have to beat.
Well, when you do
Join the
decide to
club.
get it, you can buy it off of Cash's Humble
Humble.
at a
yes, that's right.
discounted price.
Yes.
All
that's
right.
true. Let's go. There you're right. There you go.
Is it that time? Is it that time? Is it that time?
Not yet. We got one more thing. We got the rumor
Oh.
mill.
Oh
Okay.
god.
We got the rumor mill. One more thing. We got the rumor mill, guys. So apparently, Sony and Xbox are reportedly in preliminary discussions about having Helldivers come over. And again, before we get into anything, this should be strictly considered a rumor until otherwise proven. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're in
Fairly
preliminary
introduce-
discussions.
Introduction to our new segment every
is our
episode.
new segment.
We're going to be highlighting one or two unconfirmed rumors throughout the gaming industry. We already did one with Fortnite, so now
Mhm.
we're going to be talking about Helldivers.
Yeah, so
Take it away,
they're in preliminary discussions about having Helldivers come to Xbox, which I think makes an awful lot of sense. Trez, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it makes a ton of sense.
Mhm.
Why not? And also Helldivers just kind of feels like an
Xbox game. That's what a lot of people
Like,
say.
Yeah. It doesn't really feel like a PlayStation game. It feels more like an Xbox game.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I have felt the same thing. I've only played the game a few hours, and every time I was just like, it feels weird that I'm not playing this on an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I've thought that. You know?
Yeah, it
but
does,
I
it
think
feels-
yeah, we should I'm someone that hates console wars, so why not bring it to everything?
Not only that, it's a multiplayer game. I believe that multiplayer games should be open to every platform. That's just my
Something
honest
interesting
opinion.
from your notes here, Cash, is as
Mhm.
the conversation also touched on the broader implications of the gaming industry
Mhm.
with suggestions that Xbox could benefit from a 30% cut of sales on their platform.
Mhm.
So it looks like maybe what's holding it up is Xbox wants a cut. They want more than just have it. They want a cut of
They
their
want a cut
profits
of
too.
the,
Yeah.
and I think that might let the whole deal fall through.
But a game that only costs $40, I don't know if that PlayStation will go for that. If it was a full price
But
game,
like, but
sure.
at the end,
But
wouldn't they I think Xbox would benefit regardless from that because the player base, they will have a larger player base. People will be on
but
Xbox
that's not
playing.
in the benefit of PlayStation for sure. You know, to
I
No, it's
give
not.
that.
think
Yeah, but I don't know.
I
Oh, let's
think
go ahead.
PC killed the console war, and
Nah, console
now
wars is still happening.
I mean
It's dying though.
I think it's
Yeah.
dying, and the death of console exclusives is happening as we speak. It's trending more now that we see games not being console exclusives, and I
Mhm.
think with PC sales going up and less players buying one console or the other, I think people are realizing to get the most money out of the games, we should have them on as many platforms as possible. And to keep the games alive long enough to keep getting money from the battle passes, from the stores, we want as many players as possible. Think about it. A game that has 1 million concurrent players versus a game that has 200,000 concurrent players. Which one do you think has the highest probability of surviving 15 years?
Mm. Yeah.
If the point of the game is to have it be live service and to make money off of it for years and years and years and years, which is what the market is headed towards,
I feel like the
Yeah.
then
most would be 10. How long has Fortnite been around?
Again, I
My,
fall back to
my
Counter Strike.
Yeah,
Mm.
my initial reaction to what you said, Heartless, is I just don't know if live service is always the answer. I think sequels might be the answer. Hear me out here for a moment. So you have your game, it's popping off, you have all your players. 5 years, 4 years down the road, you come in with your sequel. It has new innovations. It has new things. New keeps up with the current state of the technology, and it announces new features, new everything. It brings in new players, and it brings back the old players and also new players. You just do that every bunch of years, and it might be healthier for the industry in the long run.
Mhm.
Are
I
you
don't know. That's
going
my initial thoughts right there. So I'm not sure.
question? Are if you have a sequel, are you going then to be able to bring everything that you unlocked or purchased on the first game into the sequel? Because that
Well,
is where people are going to have issues
the
with.
direction that I'm saying, it could be that bridges the gap that kills microtransactions. And hear me out on that too. Yeah, you might have a few microtransactions here or there, but it might just it might kill the need for them because you're coming out with games more often at full price. So you're not having to rely solely on microtransactions to make your money. So
So
that's
basically,
my
the
yeah.
game industry prior to microtransactions.
Yeah, think of
Mm.
how it used to be.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be, right? So
Right.
I would I don't know. It's
I
just I'm
mean,
just
I would love it, but I don't think we're ever going to go back down that
No, we're
path.
not going back.
I
We're
don't
never
even think
done.
we do. I don't think we even would love it. I don't think we even would love it.
Mm.
Let's be honest. I want the games that I invest time in developing. I'm a competitive player. If I dump 1,200 hours into on Overwatch, it feels really fucking good. I'm sorry for swearing. It feels really good to know that 3 years later I can still put those skills to use, and there is still going to be an active player base. Why is that possible for Overwatch? Because they sell skins, they sell battle passes, and that would not be possible. The lifespan of games and consoles has like doubled and tripled since when I was a kid. You used to buy a game when you was a kid, play it for 3 months, never play it again. For the
Actually.
most part. For
Mhm.
the most part.
yeah.
You know? And I think the more players you get in a player pool, and the more that the company gets to monetize microtransactions, the longer the game will survive. The game has to be good, obviously, too. The game has to be good.
We've talked on it before too, where microtransactions we feel are important for the industry. because the people that work in the industry, they need to get paid every 2 weeks. They need to get paid every month. So games need to have consistent money coming in to
Right.
pay their staff, or we're going to continue to see these layoffs we see throughout the industry right
There's
now.
another layoff this week too,
Yeah.
if I'm not
Or
mistaken.
or every year you could be sold a new copy of Street Fighter, and to feel like you're keeping up, you go spend another $50.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they did in the previous generations.
But
Yeah.
then you also then you get into the the COD and the Madden, area where it's like, how much can if they're releasing a game every year, like how much different is it gonna be? What
Right.
is the change gonna be between that?
You're
It's
going to
and
have
and then they're
Street
gonna get
Fighter,
lazy and they're just
Fighter
gonna pump
Turbo,
out.
Street Fighter New Challengers. You're going to have that kind of thing again. Very minuscule changes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're gonna charge full price.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you also have to take it back to the arcade era. The games I just mentioned, they came out in the arcade era, so they had microtransactions. I had to put a couple quarters in just to play them. So there were microtransactions in the game. It was just done differently than what we're experiencing today. So
That's
Is it really-
actually an
Yeah.
experiment that I just started streaming with actually. How much does it cost to beat this arcade game? So
Yeah.
I did that with the X-Men arcade game, which is when I last streamed, and I don't stream nearly as much as I used to. But yeah, it cost $6.50 back in 1992, I think it came
That's
out.
a good ass. Yo, I love that kind of
But
content. You want to do more?
I think I'm gonna start doing that more often.
do
yeah.
more, please.
Here's-
That's actually pretty
and
cool.
I also think I'm just gonna. I know this is a total side topic, but the King of Fighters series doesn't get enough love, and I want to explain why. I think it's kind of alluded to what you just said. Back in the day, King of Fighters, you played 3 characters for 25 cents. What a deal! But now you pay $60, $70 for the game, and now you're burdened to learn 3 characters. It's not the same level of payoff, you know. So, just to throw that out there.
All right. But yeah. So our question of the week was originally gonna be, what's your favorite MK game? We're gonna skip that. The question is, what's on your FPS Mount Rushmore based on our previous conversation earlier during the podcast. Chat, you guys can pop off a little bit. If you guys want to hop in and share yours, we can do that real quick. Or you could just pop it in chat. But yeah.
Yeah. Who's on your
Germ-
Mount Rushmore of
Jerem, you
FPS?
already
I
shared
gave
yours.
mine,
Heartless.
so I stand by it. The only one I'm willing to change is Overwatch. You guys can convince me to change Overwatch. I ain't changing the others. So there we are.
Heartless, how about you? What's on your Mount Rushmore of FPS game?
Counter-Strike for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Hades.
Mm-hmm. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3, ODST.
Guys, throw some
Halo
names out there
Reach,
for me.
Halo-
Throw some names out there for me.
007.
007, Counter-Strike, 007.
Mhm.
There's a Doom.
Mm, okay.
Half-Life 2.
Is Quake
Wait,
the one
just
where the
hold-
guy won
just-
the red Ferrari? Is
hold
Quake
on.
the game with the guy won the red Ferrari for?
So in terms of innovation, are we talking just overall innovation for FPS? Or
It doesn't matter. Just like
Nah,
what's
this
on
is
your
my
Mount
this is my
Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
First-person shooters.
Yeah.
Yes. The same
Perfect
way that
Dark,
we have a
yeah.
Mount Rushmore of American presidents. Think about it that way.
Yeah, Perfect Dark's a good one. Yeah, but 007's a lock for me. It's 100% a lock. Their Half-Life 2 is a really great game. Just a great game for the industry. You could throw Portal maybe in there, you know?
That's what, 5, right?
That's
It's more like
5.
a puzzle. I mean, I guess it's still first-person shooter, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I would consider it a shooter.
Portal.
Innovative, though. You gotta give
It's
it that.
innovative, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider it a shooter either. Yeah.
There's all those ones in the arcades, you know, the ones that you had the actual gun, like House of the Dead and ones like those.
Like a rail shooter.
Yeah, rail shooters.
Like
Um,
Time Crisis. Anybody remember Time
uh,
Crisis?
If you want to toss Fallout in there, Fallout 3, hugely innovative. You want,
But it's not a first-person shooter though. That's not a first-person
you
shooter.
have guns, so I don't know.
I think I have
Trez?
mine.
Yeah, Trez, what's yours?
This is really hard though, and I'm not going. Before we're talking about multiplayer, so I'm not going to talk about solely multiplayer. But
Mhm.
I have 4, and I'll give my reasons why I'm going to pick each 4.
Okay.
Doom I think
Yeah.
has to be up there.
Mhm.
Even though Wolfenstein came out first, Doom was way more popular, built off of the Wolfenstein engine.
It popularized the genre. It's a Street Fighter
It
2.
popularized it exactly.
Mhm.
It and there's still that meme like, can it run Doom?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be there. We wouldn't have a lot of first person shooters now if we didn't have Doom.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
And
007, I'm gonna agree with you there, and it's because that I think popularized more multiplayer. Yeah, you had Quake, but I think everyone like
Again, popularized the genre. Really put it.
N64, yeah, and
Mhm.
everyone had 007,
007,
and people still talk about it to this day. Even though
this day.
it's not like my favorite, I think it probably should be up there.
Yeah, it really
but-
put the genre in the front of everyone's face. It really did.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go. I'm a very big Half-Life fan. So the first Half-Life was the first game that really leveled up AI, where like enemies wouldn't just go down like a certain path, like they would actually come and like search for you if you were hiding behind something. It was also one of the first games to introduce what's the word I'm looking for here? Things that would like happen in the game that weren't just in cinematic. Like
Yeah.
I guess in-game cinematic,
Yeah,
maybe?
in
you
game
would call
one
cinematic.
of the-
Yeah,
it was-
in-game cinematic. Yeah.
It was one of
Yeah.
the first games too
'Cause
to
some
like
of-
really
before
do
games were
strong,
more video based, like they
physics-
were already
physics engine?
pre-rendered videos.
Yeah.
It was one of the first games too to like really innovate physics engines in games too. Like if you knock something down, gravity takes it. It was
Yep.
one of the first games to really do that.
Yeah. So I think Half-Life has to be talked about, and then everything was built on the source engine. So
Mhm.
like then you get Counter-Strike, which then you get all of the multiplayer games. And then I'm gonna stick with Half-Life and go Half-Life 2, mainly because the physics engine from Half-Life 2 was like groundbreaking when that came out at the time,
Yeah, the
and
gravity gun.
the gravity gun, yeah, and like sawing the zombies in half, and yeah. So that's my 4.
And
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, it might be the very first game where you have a partner, like an AI partner with you, Alex. It might be the first. Don't.
I'm
quote-
trying
correct
to
me on that.
think, but you
Not
might
to
be
say on
right.
that, guys. It might be the first.
Yeah.
You might
so-
be right on that.
I
Yeah.
have to look that up. I have to look.
Alex. She might
Alex
be the
and
first.
Dog.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, because you could technically in Half-Life 1, you could bring security guards along with you, and then they would act as a AI
AI
partner.
companion. Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure. Fact check me on that, guys. But I have a feeling it's probably the first.
Yeah. Ready
But,
for mine? This might be some hot takes in here.
And
I
here-
only gave 2.
No, you did? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Heartless.
But I only have one more to offer you right now, and it's gonna be Overwatch. Trez said something earlier about Wolfenstein came first, but I'm gonna give it to this.
Yeah.
And Team Fortress came first, but I'm gonna give it to Overwatch. I think
Okay.
Overwatch was truly revolutionary. I think its graphic style, its animation style, I think the uniqueness of the characters, I think that really, really spawned a generation of FPS players. I think Overwatch is a very high skill ceiling game, and I don't think it got enough credit in the esports viewership scene in terms of like
Even now.
this, even yeah, the Overwatch League flopped. The
Mhm.
Overwatch League flopped, but I do think it's a revolutionary game, and I don't know how much they got from Siege. I think Siege came out first, and it is a team-based shooter. I think it
Right.
is.
Mhm.
After you're done with your list, Heartless, I'm gonna cook on the comment you said about the esports. But finish.
No,
up.
you go now. Actually, I
No,
only
go.
have
I want
3.
you to
I
finish your
only
list.
have 3, and I need
I
to
want you
think
to
on my
finish your
4th
list
one.
first. Finish your list.
I
first.
don't have the 4th one. I need to think on it.
Alright.
So you go first, and when I hear a name that makes me think, oh, they belong up there, I'll
Okay.
throw it out there.
So what caused the Overwatch scene to fail was not the league itself, not the way the league necessarily was trying to go, not the direction it was trying to go. It was overall a strong concept that could have worked. What killed the game was the meta itself. The meta became so defined by these 5, 6 characters that it became so stale, and Activision did not act quick enough to try to change up the meta, and it became boring to watch. And when you're trying to push a spectator-based sport, trying to get people to subscribe to YouTube or whatever to watch this, and it's fucking boring, that's what killed it. Was that the meta itself. Winston, Rorschach, Roadhog.
Who's Rorschach?
what
Whoa,
is
whoa, 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 whoa. Who
No,
is
the guy
Rorschach?
with the shield or whatever, the hammer, whatever.
Oh, Reinhardt,
the,
Reinhardt,
uh,
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
what is it? The sniper, Mercy, the same 5-6 people all the time, and all the team, every competitive team had the same lineup, so it was so boring. That's what killed the Overwatch League. So anyway,
Well, what's on my Mount Rushmore is 007 because again, why not? 007 to me, it's what got me really into like first-person shooters. Like that was during my time, you could say. Unreal Tournament 2, that was also something I played very heavily back in the day on PC. That's when I really played PC games, you could say, before I went to all into consoles. Titanfall and Modern Warfare 1 because I love the whole cinematic storytelling of how Call of Duty, the direction they went into Modern Warfare. So I really love that shit. So yeah,
nice.
those are my
No,
four.
and just shout out to this, like, we all are gamers throughout the whole country, and we all have different series that have all impacted us. So that's the beauty
I
of
think that's what it
gaming,
is too. It comes down to the,
yeah.
the level of impact those games have had on your life, and that's why you
Yeah.
put them on your list. So,
For me,
yeah.
shooters have always been secondary, but I've had good times with them. So, it's like, it's good to be able to
Hold on,
remember those
pause.
times.
So Hades is like clarification wise. Like, do you mean the real one or the Abomination? I mean the real one, Hades, the first actual Modern Warfare one, not the new kind. No.
The OG, we talking PlayStation 3? PlayStation 3 Modern Warfare?
Was that PlayStation 3 or yeah, PlayStation
Yeah.
3. Yeah, around that 360 era.
Xbox
Interjection.
360, yeah.
Interjection.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare, the original, is spot number 4 on my Mount Rushmore because it revolutionized
Multiplayer.
player interactions.
Yes, multiplayer.
In lobbies,
I don't
and
think there's
it
anything
revolutionized racism and bigotry.
I don't think there's anything that Modern Warfare 1 did that Halo did not do first. But that's all I'll say,
I feel you.
Yeah,
No, but
go ahead.
But for
with
our
Call of Duty,
generation-
it was more of a to me, yeah, exactly. For our generation, and not only that, I feel like it's not, I won't say like the storytelling per se, but it's just the realism of the game, especially when it
let's
came to like Modern Warfare.
let's just
And I
point
feel like
out
I
something.
want to take that back, and I want to go with Modern Warfare 2 instead. That whole
Let-
airport scene in Modern Warfare 2 was
Oh, that was
mind blowing, bro.
crazy.
Like people were talking about that. Even to this day, people are still talking about that entire
That's-
scene.
I respect it, but I wouldn't call that innovation. I would call that shock value. But, it's cool.
That's still I still
And let's just shout it out for a minute. The PlayStation guy is defending the Xbox game. Let's just throw that out there for a minute. And, let's just throw that out there, okay?
What, Halo?
Yeah, me. I've never even played Halo, and I'm defending Halo over here.
Nah. I'm gonna
You
stick with
gotta,
my
you
Modern
got, you
Warfare
gotta
2.
respect the legacy it's had, though.
Yeah. But yeah, no Russian. Yes, exactly. Solo. That was
Yeah.
insane. But yeah. But yeah, guys, that was
MCC,
it
what
for
does
the
that mean?
episode.
What does that mean? What does that mean, MCC?
What? What do you mean?
Derm needs MCC.
I don't know.
I don't know what the kids are spitting these days. Master
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 Chief.
Chief Collection. Okay.
If I get an Xbox Hades, this is a promise. That'll be one of the first games that I buy. That's a promise.
But yeah, guys,
You
that
can hold
was
me
an
to that.
amazing episode. I'm gonna be real with you guys. That was dope. Drez, you
Yeah.
should come on the show more often.
Yeah,
it seems like
definitely. Thanks for having me, guys. This was a blast. I always
Every
love
time we
talking
have-
video games.
Yeah.
every
bro.
time we have a guest, we cook hard. We always have something that
Yeah,
really
Reaper
gets
was one of
going.
our previous guests. He was our last guest. Reaper,
Yeah.
PC, and the Jet. So yeah. He's
Yeah,
a
this was
big
fun.
PC guy.
I'm really hopeful for the MK scene. I know it's kind of fallen maybe to 4th place in the current state of FGC games, but I'm hoping for it to make the comeback. I'm rooting for the MK community.
We'll
And,
see. We're gonna get a Combat Pack 2 with a story, new
Yeah.
story mode and stuff. But
Oh, really?
yeah, it's gonna happen.
Shout out to creators like yourself though that are helping keep the game like
Thank you,
keep the
appreciate
spirit
that.
of the game alive, because that's what games need. They need people that are willing to tough out the games they love. Soul Calibur is that game for me, and it's like they're willing to keep them going, keep them revived, keep interest in them. Like shout out to you, like really for not selling out to play Tekken. I appreciate
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I'll always love Mortal Kombat. If it's downhill from here, I'll still be playing it. I'll just be begrudgingly playing it.
Right. Also, guys, don't forget to follow Trez's YouTube channel. It's called MK Temple. You want to plug anything else?
Plug it all. Plug it all.
That's all I got, really. MK Temple. I do stream sometimes, so you can follow me at Trezinator.
Yeah, just follow. His name should be linked to
about it.
the channel right now. Follow it, please.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get back into like a consistent streaming schedule, but we'll see if that happens.
Get back soon, please, please, please. We
And
have a
thank you
few
guys for
games.
having me. This was awesome. Like this was
It
so
was
much fun.
awesome. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. It's been an honor. If you have any socials you want to shout out, here in the chat, please do. Get these people following you.
You're also
Yeah,
on
definitely
Twitter.
at Trezinator at everything.
Everything.
I'm
Everything.
looking for it
X,
now.
TikTok.
X-Men? You play X-Men?
Yeah, I played.
that's
that's what I
what
played
again.
last because
Yeah,
I
okay.
wanted to see how much it would cost to beat X-Men.
Okay, well, say less. You got my follow.
Thanks, Heartless. Yeah, Heartless,
course.
Germ. It's nice meeting you guys too.
Nice
Of
meeting you, bro.
course. It was a true honor. I would like to invite you to the X Element Discord real quick, if you got a moment. Let me just cue that up.
Definitely. Yeah, give me a.
We currently don't
me a
have an MK competitive scene, but we're trying to find the people that are interested in doing the game and are passionate about the game. So if you have anyone that is kind of, that stands by the game and wants to see the game kind of break out of this funk it has competitively, you shoot them my way. And
Okay, cool.
yeah, here's the Discord.
I don't know. I feel like if people leave Mortal Kombat, we'll have more players on Street Fighter and Tekken. I'm just a theory.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Heartless. Before we go, please.
You got it. You got it. You
That's
guys
fine.
know the drill. I'm gonna hit you guys
Is
with
it
the
fine?
official affiliate links for the episode. Obviously, the first one for the I believe 9th time in a row now is Origin PC. Are you guys trying to build the ultimate gaming PC? Then look no further than Origin PC. They're an award-winning PC building company, whether you're a gamer, a professional, or a professional gamer. Origin PC has you covered. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or the description of the podcast. Also, this is an affiliate link, so any qualifying purchase will result in a little bit of money going back to the podcast, and we get to expand what we're doing and hopefully make this a better experience for everybody overall. The second affiliate link is Gamefly. If you guys are looking for the ultimate gaming experience without breaking the bank, check out Gamefly. You can rent discs hassle-free, dive into unlimited gaming, and snag great deals on used games and movies. Use Gamefly to check out games you're not so sure about, and once you decided, you can buy it outright at a discounted price or send it back with no problem. Want to pause your subscription? Not a problem. You can do that at any time. Gamefly makes it easy to check out games on your terms. Just click the affiliate link in the show notes to get started. And obviously, you got to hit them with the any qualifying purchase will result in a commission to us and no extra cost to you. The third affiliate link is for Fanatical. Fanatical is your one-stop shop for over 1 million passionate gamers like you. Whether you're craving the latest AAA game, hunting for indie games, or searching for incredible deals in your favorite games, Fanatical has you covered. With a massive selection, unbeatable prices, you're sure to get your gaming fix. Just click on the link in the show notes of the podcast, please. And as always, we do get a little kickback, and nobody's getting rich, but we get to enhance the show. I love you guys. Shout out to Trezinator for being here. It's your boy, the Heartless. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the lurkers. Shout out to the talkers. Shout out to the people in the waiting room. Hades. You guys are incredible. Oh, never be scared, guys, to hop on here and roast me to death. Shout out to Germ. Shout out to X Element. And I'm going to shut up. Bye.
I don't get a shout out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, you're going to end it, so you get your own shout out. Shout out to you.
And I just want to say, Heartless does all that in one breath, folks. Like
Right.
literally one breath.
That was
He spoke out
impressive.
all those words.
Right?
That was impressive. That was great.
I've practiced it a lot, a few thousand times, to be honest.
But yeah, guys, thank you guys for being in here, bro, and being so involved in this whole conversation. Thank you guys so much. We love y'all for
Yeah.
that, man.
This was by far one of the most involved shows that we've had. Like the chat was popping off. You were asking us questions. We had waiting list guests today.
Mm-hmm.
We had some great riveting conversation. We put some great new games on your guys' radar. You know,
Right.
we had some great discussions. We appreciate all the audience. Like
Yeah.
seriously, you guys are the best audience in podcast history.
Yeah, and just look out if you guys are looking for more of an audio version of the podcast. It will be available tomorrow on Apple, Spotify, wherever. Just we're gonna drop it all there tomorrow. So yeah. The YouTube version might be a little later though. It might be a Tuesday or a Wednesday release because I'm gonna have to edit the video and just kind of take care of some stuff to make sure everything is fine before
Yeah.
we upload. But otherwise, yeah.
Cash always gives us that hour and a half like time frame.
Yeah, I
we
try to cut
always
it
blow
down.
past
You know what? You know what's happening. You know what's happening.
Well,
As we get more comfortable with each other,
mhm.
and as the show gets more efficient, we get faster at doing what we're supposed to do and more efficient. But we get more comfortable, so we end up having longer conversations.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
it is.
you know, it's and I accept full responsibility. It seems like every episode, I open up a can of worms that we just go off on, and I really
No,
apologize.
tonight
Apologize
wasn't
for
your
that, Kat.
fault though. Tonight
And it's
was
all for your
Heartless.
benefit, audience. It's all for your
Tonight,
benefit.
no, tonight
so,
was more Heartless's fault though.
yeah.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
because
Okay. Listen,
he
speaking of
brought in-
Heartless,
he brought
that
in,
guy is handsome as hell,
yeah.
and he's gonna be streaming in 20 minutes.
No,
so check him out.
It's not a bad thing, Heartless. It's the whole like sparking the conversation of first person shooters. That's what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
I
a
think,
bad thing.
yeah, it was me by my Mount Rushmore just all of a sudden got us going, you know. But
Mhm.
shout out to our guest Trez. Like seriously, he has the YouTube channel. I don't know if you linked it earlier, but he posts a lot of content there, MK related and just other variety games. So drop him a follow, check him out. But turn the notifications on. Help a brother
We're trying to
out.
get him back to streaming, guys. So please give him that follow.
Yeah, I gotta come back.
Do you have a Twitter? Did you want to
Yeah,
promote?
it's Resonator on
All
everything.
just at Tresinator. I
just
have an
like
MK
me.
Temple Twitter as well, but I'm not as active about it. I'm mostly just bitching about the game.
Let's go.
All right, guys. So we're gonna raid
shoot.
out to Wilshire. He's also an
Shout out to
FGC
Wilshire.
streamer. He's playing Tekken right now, but he also has a very similar Fight Night Friday setup called Fraudulent Fridays. Go check him out. We're about to head out, but thank you guys. Peace. Love y'all. Bye.
Peace out.
Thanks everyone.
Did we raid out? I think we
Yo,
did.
Cash.
Yo.
I don't know how you do it, bro, but you always get the best guests.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Seriously.
awesome, bro. I told you guys. this already.
You are a very well connected gentleman.
Yeah, that was awesome. You got a lot of activity in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was
Oh
popping
shit,
off.
Cashco,
It's
what's
because
up,
we guest
dude?
star, so
Sorry,
like
guys,
our
I'm not from
communities
this
pretty
town.
much know. Oh, they're all together. Man, these guys
up,
watch all of our
y'all?
streams
Good to see you
individually.
guys.
It's